Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad, I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get to glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then I just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting, shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away, the best place to be on a Monday night if you're a Spurs fan. If you're not, we love you as well. We've got Iggy, we've got JP, we've got Lee in the house tonight. We've got plenty to talk to, even though we haven't played on the weekend. And most importantly, I need to put a disclaimer out there before we start. I've been going through the comments on YouTube and on social media, and all I'm going to say is this. This channel might not be for everyone. If it's not for you, you don't have to be here, right? If you want honest conversation, if you want real talk, if you want to hear fans who aren't scared to say the things that maybe others don't want to talk about, this isn't for you. No, this is for you. This is for you.
Get it right.
If you want to hear things that you just want to hear to make yourself feel really great all the time, this might not be for you. But if you want to feel good, but also hear the truth, then we're for you. On that note, Iggy, how you doing?
All right. I'm doing well. I don't know. That's a massive disclaimer. You lost me after about the first 30 seconds of it. But at the end of the day, what will be the good use of having everyone chatting about the same thing, and everyone has their own truth, and we tell ours. It may resonate truth with some people, may resonate annoyance to others, but we say what we feel is for us. It is what we think. We tell it how it is, exactly how it is, whether we like it or not, or whether you like it or not. In that case, so I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that in part of it, but it's not all negative. It's not all positive. It's just Tottenham. Big up everyone in the chat.
It's not all positive. It's Tottenham.
That's a line, isn't it? That's a line.
Let's quote that. Do you know what? That's going to be the disclaimer header. I'm going to make a disclaimer. That's the header. Yeah, JP, you good?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Long hours at work. But I have missed Spurs actually. Kind of like, to be fair, like watching some of the other football at the weekend was a bit, But no, missed the boys. Nice. It'd be good to get them back this weekend.
Oh, no, won't have to wait too long, JP. It's only on Friday.
And a window's closing.
And
drama.
Yeah, Friday. And make sure you tune in, people. We've got the live watch along on the channel. Lee, how you doing, my man? You good?
Evening, gents. Yeah, good. This can be on a Monday. It's everyone's favourite day of the week, obviously. But yeah, very well, thank you.
We are alive.
We sound like a happy bunch, don't we, today?
Yeah, no football in it. What it's hard. Tottenham didn't play this weekend, so we haven't really got anything to get our teeth in regarding football. What's been said on the pitch, but off it, there's plenty to say.
Mate, I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. The fact that we're not going to sell Chicken Royale. Bring it on, man. Bring it on.
I was wondering when that was going to come up. Are we talking about that straight away? Is that what we're talking about?
No, we're going to talk about no.
We'll get on to that one as well.
First, and then we're going to do the Tottenham stuff. But before that, let's pick up all the people in the chat. We've got Tony Rodriguez. How you doing, my man? Double D. Jason in the building, and she becomes a butterfly. Chris in the house, Tom in the house, Jimmy in the house, Graham, big up to you, my man. I'll probably see you on Friday. In the house, Daniela's in the house, Robert's in the house, Liston's in the house, Language Angels channel member, big up. Rob Hotspur, Sferog BG, big up. JJ channel member, big up to you. Harry, Cold Shots in the house, Edward Talks, Adrian, how you doing, my man? We've got Mark Changle, we've got Mark Cousins. Stay Humble's in the house. How are you? Hope you are well. Hope everyone is good. 75
Smash that like, guys.
Like, subscribe, follow, all the good stuff. Look. Yeah, go on, JP.
Hit that like. Doesn't cost anything.
If you want, we can start charging for the likes, but it's actually free. So, unlike Levy, we don't charge. We charge.
We can remix that song. £1 £1 like.
£1 like. Oi, I'm trying to book some tickets because my brother wanted to go to Man City game, and you could not get online for love or money. It is like the queue to get some tickets, and I'm a member as well. To queue just to try and get not a chance. The website just crashed on the day. I don't know how you guys managed.
Basically, you gave Levy 50 quid for nothing. Just there you go, bang.
No, listen. But it's like you couldn't. It was like thousands and thousands of people on the queue waiting to get a ticket. It's just like everybody wants to be at the lane now. So it's. Yeah, it wasn't quite the same when Conte and Mourinho were there. The website weren't as busy, but it seems to be. Also, I tried all of that. It was diabolical. I don't think it's the best. I don't think our website or app, Spurs app.
No, you can get a ticket, but you can't get tickets together. So there's like one random there, one random in the top of the west stand, two in the east stand, about 100 meters apart.
What am I going to do? I take my brother said to me, I want to come with you to go and watch a game because he hasn't been.
It's a day out. I get it.
And what am I going to do? I'm going to bring a walkie-talkie and speak to him across the stadium, like Anyway,
Emerson Royal, he's shit.
Paper cups.
No, he's not a Spurs fan, but what he has done this season is watched a lot of Spurs games because he's enjoying Postecoglou. He does enjoy watching. No, he's a Juve fan, unfortunately. He's a Juve fan, but he's been watching Spurs games this season. He said, like, I really want to go and watch a game live and see how his team like properly play. So I've said to him, wait a little bit. Let's get Maddison and all these other boys back, and then we'll go and watch him. So I've been waiting. So I thought Man City might be a good chance to see Maddison as well. So
what you're basically saying is you wanted to take him where he wouldn't be embarrassed by the football.
No, I don't think even without them, we haven't been.
I'm only playing, Nick.
I know, but if you're gonna go and watch the game, you want to see all the best players out there, don't you? So yeah, we'll wait and see. We'll get some.
You're probably better off waiting a little bit longer because all our good players will be back then, and then it'll be even better.
We'll be challenging for the league by then, and that's going to be even harder to get tickets.
Oh yeah, it's coming home. It's coming home. Let's get into it. So, look, the main topic of the week is obviously the big game this weekend. It is the FA Cup. We are playing Manchester City. As Jimmy put it, biggest game of the season, yes or no? Well, listen, we'll answer that now. We'll go around and see if everyone thinks this is the biggest game of the season or not. But the FA Cup draw, when we look at it, there's 32 teams left.
How's your luck?
You expect, I mean, out of the big clubs there, you kind of expect Brighton will probably go through, United will go through, Liverpool go through, Chelsea, Villa's anyone's. And then if we beat City, there's only really 4 big clubs left in the competition. Hopefully we avoid a couple of them and we don't have to play another one until the final, ideally, maybe semis. But it's there for the taking. And we've got a great record against Manchester City, but we've never beaten them in this kind of last 5-6 years without Harry Kane or Son on the pitch. So this is an unknown for us now. We don't know what we're going to be like. But they've never scored at the new stadium. They've tried 5 times. They've never got a draw, let alone a win against us. And they've tried 5 times at White Hart Lane. The fact we've got home advantage, I think, gives us hope, gives us a chance. But let's be honest, we are going into this game weakened and they're coming in good form and they've got their best players back now. So, yeah, Lee, I'll come to you first. Is this the biggest game of the season for us? And if so, what do you think of it? Because at some point, City have got to break the voodoo at some point.
Yeah, they've got to. Listen, I think for us, in terms of realistically what we can do this season, if we're going to get anything out of this season, I think it's certainly we're going to have to go into this match as a cup final, right? We've got to take it that seriously. And listen, it's City we're playing. You're absolutely right. They have got some kind of voodoo juice that we've got over them at our stadium, but that curse has got to be broken at some time. Listen, as long as we go out on Friday night and make an absolute match of it, no matter whether we win or lose, as long as we put in 150%, I'll be fine with it. What I don't want is them to turn up, poo themselves, and then we end up getting beaten 4-0 or something like that. That wouldn't show progress for me. So just take the game head on, take it to them. Whatever will be, and hopefully we can get a result and go through. What I'd hate to happen though, because are we gone on to the rounds now where it's no replays any longer, or have we going to extra time and penalties now?
This is a replay if we draw.
Right, that's what I'd rather not happen, is get a draw and then have to go back to their ground, because that will be the downfall, I think. I don't think we'd be able to beat them at their ground. But, I think it is definitely one of the biggest games that we got this season if we want to progress and potentially, I'm not going to say we can win the FA Cup, but potentially go on a run for something this season. Definitely.
Lee, you say we can't beat them at their ground, but when we get the replay, most of our players...
it'll be harder. I think it'll be a harder task with the form and everything they're in at home at the moment. So we need to get it done on Friday. We're going to get it done.
JP, what about yourself? What do you think of this? Is it the biggest game of the season for Spurs, or is top 4 more important?
I think for us as fans, it probably is because we want some silverware. I think Andrew will take it seriously, especially because we're at home. And I think obviously City are a big attraction. I think he'll take it seriously as well. So, and in terms of the players' mentality that Lee was talking about just now, I don't think we've shown a lack of it, to be fair, this season. And at the end of the day, what was the score up there? 3-3, wasn't it? Like when we played them earlier this season?
3-3, yeah. They battered us in that first half. We kind of rode our luck a bit.
But they're going to do that to a hell of a lot of teams, right? And you're right in terms of also that the fact that it's been a while since our place. They've come to our place and done anything, and long may it continue. Really, I actually think we'll, without being cocky or anything, I kind of think we'll sneak it, especially if Madders is back. I mean, all right, it's first game back and stuff like that. You know, he's not going to be kind of like bang on it or like on the money or anything like that.
He's not going to get a full game though, is he? If he comes back,
but you know, like whatever he can give us, as long as it's at the right time of the game. Ideally, I mean, I don't know. It's 6.5, isn't it? Does he start or like does he come on as a sub?
Yeah. Well, what would you do? Would you start him or would you? We was talking about this very thing yesterday, and we was like in Spurs review yesterday. We was talking about whether we start him or not. Some of us said,
doesn't it depend on Kulu and the Celso's fitness?
Lo Celso won't be back, but Kulu's back.
I don't think Gio's going to be back. Yeah.
What's wrong with Gio? I thought he was just ill. I thought he had a flu or something.
No, that was Kulu, wasn't it?
Gio's just doing Gio things at Spurs.
He's done he's done something to him.
He's done his.
No, I'll tell you what he's done. He's done it again.
He scratched his nose.
He's done it again. Listen, I know you lot love. I'm not, especially him here. He loves Gio, but for me, this guy, man, it's just.
It's a shame, though.
He set up a goal at Man City, and then he scored a banger as well in that game.
Okay, it's a shame, though. He's having 3 months off.
He just gets up to a point, and you go, "Okay, I kind of trust him."
What's wrong with Gio? Danji says it's a hamstring injury. Well, do you know what? Everyone's had a hamstring injury, so it's not unusual, is it? The whole team's had a hamstring. In fact, if you haven't had a hamstring, you haven't played for Spurs this season.
Do you know what I love about Do you know what I love about Tottenham's hamstrings and everyone else's though is that everyone saw the news about Salah the other day, and everyone in the back of their mind that isn't a Liverpool supporter was going, "Yeah, we'll have some of that Salah out." And then it's a case of Romano put a post up earlier. I was reading. It's basically, his hamstring injury is worse than we first thought. It's going to be at least 21 days to 28. I'm thinking, shit, if that was Tottenham, it would be like, that would be like 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Just like, how the fuck do they get them back so quickly? Jesus Christ, what is wrong with our players? What's wrong with our medical staff? But do you know what? I'm going to say something controversial about Madders coming back. I'm going to, and everyone can disagree with me, but this is just my opinion. I wouldn't start him, and I'll tell you why. Is because apart from what he individually can do with his creativity, who's he got up front is going to be playing with him, and do we really think that creative link is going to be there enough that he can actually supply something that he could if Son was up there with him? Do you think all those like little reverse balls bump through do you really think Richarlison is going to be awake enough to catch on to that? Because we have been very critical of that of him in the past. And a lot of the goals have been tapping headers. So what is he really going to be effective bringing him back?
He's literally going to have to put it on a plate in front of the goal.
He's going to have to super glue it to his foot before it goes through.
Are we talking about Maddison or Lo Celso at the moment?
No, talking about Maddison, sorry, and his effectiveness with the player that he's got up front.
He can score goals. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. And I said that. Apart from that, but in terms of, having Son there running through, putting those little balls through the defenders and stuff like that, is it going to be effective against?
What's the alternative of Maddison?
Give me.
Well, I'm just thinking from a perspective: do we start him and potentially burn him out after 45 minutes or something like that because he's been there,
or bring him on as a sub personally.
Bring him on as a sub, which is I think
like we did with Bentancur when he came back against Palace.
Yeah. I think that's what I would prefer if he's going to be in the squad. Absolutely.
Biggie, what about you? Biggest game of the season?
He'll probably come on at half time. Listen, for me, I'd start him. I start him because I just think players like that need to start, and if he needs to come off, he can come off. But I understand the thinking, perhaps, to bring him on at half time, give him a second half. We just don't have the luxury that Man City have to bring De Bruyne the last half hour and just completely, absolutely change the game. Essentially, we don't have a Bernardo Silva that can sit in for 60 minutes and then De Bruyne to come on. But at the same time, you want to give your player the maximum minutes that you can give him for the first game back. If it is 55, if it is 60 minutes, so be it. Play him for 60 minutes, and then that's what I would do. But
he's been out a long time now, isn't he?
Yeah, it's been out a long time. I get it. So it might be a case of just playing him 45 minutes. You play him first 45 or second, and in this sort of scenario, you probably want to play him for the second 45 because there is no chance of the game going extra time.
Hold them if we can until half time, and then bring Maddison on.
But with this Man City, the game could be done and dusted by half time. So it's a tough odd game. They're saying we keep going on about this thing about them not scoring a goal. What this is going to happen sooner or later. They're going to winning the game or even scoring goals. They're going to want to come to Spurs and make a real statement. They don't want to score one goal. They want to score 2 or 3 and absolutely literally try to completely.
But you know what, Iggy? Other than the Chelsea game where we were down to 9 men, has anyone battered us this season?
No. Every game we've been involved in.
Well, it was Brighton, isn't it?
That was by 2 goals. Is that?
Well, I suppose we got a couple by the end of it, didn't we? But
we got a couple, but they completely battered us to go to take the
we hit the post that could have made it 4-3 as well.
I think the main issues that we're having at the moment is that we're not really scoring a lot of goals. We're creating, but we're not scoring enough. That's the only thing, and you got
that's not having finishers, isn't it? At the end of the day,
so we're really heavily reliant.
1-0 Spurs. Is that what you're saying? 1-0 Spurs.
No. Listen, I believe that with the support of the fans, and I think White Lane, as always, on a under the floodlights, will be absolutely rocking. So, we definitely have the best chance of qualifying for the next round at home. I don't think if we end up playing 2 games close together against Man City that we're going to come out of it victorious over the 2 games should it go to their ground. But I think our best chances at home, and for me it has to end on the night. So I'd love to see us do it, because I think if we do overcome them, we are really putting ourselves our name in the hat to go all the way. I really believe that. I think this could be the massive turning point for our season if we go through.
Liverpool
in this cup run. Yeah, Liverpool, listen, all good side. But we imagine the confidence we would gain from knocking out the treble, treble champion, treble winners, dump them out of the cup, and we go through. That would be a massive boost, and for me, that would be an absolute priority by this point to go. We would have to really try and go all the way in this cup.
It's the same confidence Iggy is going up in their backyard and coming away with a 3-3 draw. I mean, I know everyone kind of says, Man City, Arsenal, kind of would look Liverpool are flying, stuff like that. I don't think any of those teams have beaten us, have they?
No.
Liverpool didn't beat us.
But Danji's right.
Chelsea
didn't beat us.
Yeah, we don't. There's so many factors that.
So that kind of like the Chelsea game in a way. That was that's just a freak first half.
Just imploded there.
First half
but City are getting their players back. They've got De Bruyne back, and Danji makes a point in the comment. Haaland is back to full training as well, so he may feature.
Stones is back. Oku's back. They've got everyone back.
They got. This is the time where they're getting.
This is my point, guys. We know we've got City's number. We know they're their bogey team. We know psychologically when they play us, they don't, things just don't click for them. But we've always had Kane or Son on the pitch. It's the first time we're playing them in this era where we kind of own them, where Kane and Son both aren't going to be on the pitch.
Do you know what? That's my worry.
But we've got Van der Ven, we've got Romero, we've got Adogi, we've got Porro.
JP, this is
Johnson. We've got team over.
This is what I said last week. I don't think. Well, I don't think from this game that I see an issue in terms of the back. I see an issue is if we're going to if the game turns out and we are literally soaking up all the pressure. What have we got in the attacking third to nick that goal, like we have done before, or where is that coming from? That's where I'm confused as to where that part of it's going to come from. We've got our defence back; they look solid. We can deal with that part of it, but where is that? If we're going to nick it, where's that goal going to come from? That's where I'm.
Kulu.
Well, yeah. But then
Madison.
If he starts, if he's back, absolutely, potentially.
0-0 till half time. Bring on Madison.
Richarlison.
Bang.
The pigeon strikes.
I think it's Timo time, baby.
Will, what's the two questions we're answering? Is the first one is this the biggest game of the season for us? And number two, what do you think is going to happen considering we've got no Son and no Kane, which is something we've never really done against City all these years we beat
them? Well, my first answer is going to make a lot of people mad because I'm going to say no. And then the second answer is...
Here we go.
We just have to just keep them scoring. It's gonna rely on the back line. In the midfield, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is, we're going to go at them, right? We're not gonna play defensive. That Man United, who aren't very good, they got 2 goals against us because you can get in behind us. So for me, I don't think what you said will work. We need to
play defensive. I said we just need to keep them scoring. We can still play on the front foot and not let them score.
Yeah, but can okay? Let's say. Shutting out City for a whole game without our holding mids, without wingers that drop back and help. Like Brennan Johnson doesn't recover; he just doesn't help Porro. At least
we got Betancourt. Why don't we have a holding mid?
No, as in defensive mid. Sorry,
we got Betancourt.
Betancourt would do that job, wouldn't
he? Hold on. Last game we used Skip and Højbjerg. In fact, Skip played further up. We used Højbjerg.
Like what game are you talking about?
Man United. He played Betancourt further up, didn't he? A bit more of a centre mid, attacking mid.
Yeah, but it's because we didn't have Madison or Kulusevski, right?
So if Kulu's available, you think Kulu's going to be playing in the midfield and he's going to keep Brendan out wide?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I would. I would play him in that 8 role, in the SAR role.
He likes to speed on both flanks, doesn't he? And having Johnson there as a speed merchant, and now getting
Johnson and Werner. If it was me, I would play Madison, Kulusevski, and Betancourt in midfield.
So basically, we're gonna try and do the old Stoke City. Defend, try and get a set piece. Richie header, 1-0. We move on.
The thing is, like,
that
will literally be, plan A. If it works, it works. If it doesn't. Because we're not going to do that. We all know we have nothing on the bench if that, if Madison can't play the full game, and
Brian Hill, got Chicken Royale, got Dragusin.
No, for me, look,
Brian Hill's leaving, so
for me, yeah. I think only one between Kulu and Madison will play in the 10. I think that would happen. I think the two wide players will play. I think Johnson will play. I think Timo will play, and Richarlison will be up front. And it will be do we go with the three midfielders that played against Man United? If we do that, frees up Bentancur to attack a bit more because the other two do it a lot less. Or if we play Bentancur in one and say Kulusevski in the number 10, then it'll be a choice between Højbjerg or Skip to occupy the other spot.
You remember when Bentancur got injured the second time? He was playing in that sixth role, and you had Kulusevski and Lo Celso, right?
Yeah.
That's that same thing, except you just drop Madison in there instead of Lo Celso.
No, Bill, I don't dispute like the idea is a bad one. I'm saying that we don't.
I don't think he's going to start Madison.
I just think that we don't have anything in our armor to come off the bench if needed be. If we play both our attacking midfielders, who we don't have anybody left. If Madison has to go off, we are then forced to play defensive midfielders coming on.
Is Lo Celso still injured or no?
No, you're not going to see Lo Celso.
You're
not going to see Lo Celso until he plays in Argentina shirt again. You're not going to see him again in the Spurs shirt.
When is the next international break?
It's just
people in the chat earlier said Lo Celso's out for about a month with a hamstring, so he's not back to mid-February.
A month for a lot of people, 3 or 4 for him. You're not going to see him again in the Spurs. Honestly, I don't. Do you know what? Just when I was getting my head around saying, you know what, this guy just maybe, if he can stay fit, scoring goals, he was playing really well, and he's just and he's off again. It's like, where's she gone again? One of them ones where you're like. You remembered why you liked her, and then as soon as you get round to the other end, you're going to be seeing her a bit more often. Boom! She vanishes. She vanishes again into thin air, never to be seen again. And you just got played one more time, and that's where I am with look at this guy.
Beatrix Kane has dropped a super chat. Iggy, another trophy for
this
Inter
guy
Milan, and
is
once
the
again
biggest
Super Cup
ball ache.
champions. Hashtag Forza Nazori, he says.
The biggest ball ache is reading your super chats. Nothing annoys me more than reading your
man, he just donated to the channel, Iggy. He just donated to the channel.
Okay, but he donated to the channel. But he can. Do you know what? I will give him $10 back if he stops sending me super chats. How about that? How about that, Dietrich? I'll give you double the amount if you can just stop writing shit.
Apparently, Erling Haaland isn't going to play.
But as I always say to Dietrich,
treated that way, send a super chat in and we'll show you
as I always say to Dietrich whenever he does take a super chat, even if he writes shit, I'll say to him, "Thank you, Dietrich," and piss off. There you go. That's how I always end it with Dietrich.
If you also want to be told to piss off, just drop us a super chat and we'll take it in turns to tell you to piss off.
You're going to write shit about Inter Milan.
What a channel.
Double the amount and say, don't bother.
Is there anyone here who thinks that we're losing on Sunday? On Friday, sorry.
If it had been Sunday, we probably would have lost. But because it's a Friday, I fancy us winning it.
What's the difference?
I mean, there's a chance we lose. There's always a chance we could lose.
Rubbish.
So.
Yeah, but
they don't have Haaland, so it's not going to be as difficult.
Who thinks? Yeah, we're just not winning this one. Like your prediction is a loss,
mate. We are hopeful that we'll win this game, man. But it's these guys are like
a coin flip.
Newcastle.
What about a draw? Does anyone think this goes to replay?
I could. I doubt it.
Rather it didn't.
I think there'll be
a
winner.
one. Heads or tails?
I'm asking you, who thinks we're going to lose? Who thinks we're going to draw? And everyone's like, it could. It might. Yeah, anything could happen. I'm asking you, do you think...
I don't think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a bit will go either way.
Tails is a win. Pick heads or tails.
I think we're going to win.
Heads.
There you go.
JP's gone for the win.
It's tails.
We're fucked.
So Iggy's predicted a loss.
A loss.
That's it. Is it on me? Just on me, right?
Actually, hold on. I ran a poll. Hold on, let me check the poll. I ran a poll.
It's a silver dollar.
How do I even check the poll that I ran?
Listen, if we can go to City's ground and get a 3-3 result, why can't we nick a 1-0 win or a 2-1 win or something like that? I mean, I can't. There's actually people in the chat that are just saying, "Get real, it's going to be lost on Friday night." On what evidence? 5 times they come to us and they haven't scored. We went to their ground, got a 3-3.
I'm more worried when we have Spurs fans saying that we're going to smash them. We're going to win.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. That's a
when we have fans go off on one saying we're going to smash them, that's more worried. But the fact that we recognise that City have turned the corner, I saw that game against Newcastle, and for me,
that was a banging game.
Look, have a little faith. If Ryan Mason can keep him down to 1-0 at Wembley, I think Ange Postecoglou can pull out a miracle.
It's a different Man City, though, man.
That Man City was arguably better. What are you talking about?
Just for the record,
Harry Kane, Gareth Bale.
That's exactly what I said.
I don't know, man.
They didn't score
Who's scoring?
do you know what? I'll tell you what, and I said this, Will. I said this yesterday on the Spurs review. I said that I'd feel even more confident if Sonny was in the team. If Sonny was in the team playing up front,
for sure,
I'd fancy us a bit more. Although everybody now is talking about Sonny being in the team when he's not. When he is, he's trash. No, he's not. Oh my God! Sonny's not there. So it's like, what side of the coin is with this Sonny situation? Do we want him in the team, or we when he's in the team, he's trash. When he's not in the team, we're missing Sonny.
Why are people saying Mason had Son and Kane when neither Son or Kane scored in that game?
We've never played.
To be fair, Mason had Eric Dyer at the back. And, but you had Harry Winks in midfield. Okay, Lee, what's your score prediction? Let's just do score prediction.
The good thing, our first team defense is back. We've got a really informed goalkeeper. Two boys that are playing at centre back that would have had an extra week in fitness and preparation. That they were thrown in against Man United, but this time around they'll have a bit more preparation. Porro and Udogie are there. You know, it's good. It's not our midfield.
Rashford scored his first goal at Old Trafford since May against our best back four.
Yeah, but you knew we was going to gift him that. You knew that was going to happen. As soon as
you don't think we're going to give City anything?
But you have more of a chance with those four at the back and the goalkeeper than not without him.
I don't know. I think the way we.
Would Emerson and Davis at the back? Would you have fancied us more?
I think that first game, that when we drew 3-3 at City, that first half we should have been 4-5-0 down. And I don't know if City are going to do that again with us. I'm not writing it off because if there's any team they'll do it with, it's us. Missed chances, right? It's us. But for me, do you know what? I'm worried about the other end scoring goals. I don't see maybe a set piece from Richarlison, maybe, but I don't see Timo scoring. I don't see Brennan scoring.
That's why
you've got Romero too. Romero gets the odd goal here and there from set piece. You got Dragonson that can come in and do some headers.
Yeah, but Will, this is what I'm saying. Set pieces, maybe, right? I can see that, but from open play. I mean, if it wasn't for Bentancur against United, we weren't scoring anything.
We had 13 corners against United, though. That's my point. Like, if I was Postecoglou, what I would do is I'd still play the style we're playing, but I would just say, okay, look, try to score if you can, but get a corner if you can't. Right? Like, that's got to be the objective, and you just pound them in the box.
I think we have to be really good defensively because we're not going to score a lot of goals, man. We have to be really good defensively, keep it tight, and that's why I always said if we're going to win, it's going to be by a goal, 1-0, 2-1. It's not going to be. There's not going to be a lot. We're not going to certainly score a lot of goals, so we have to make sure that we are defensively solid.
Right, let's do predictions, Lee. What are you thinking?
Oh, straight in.
It's a Friday night in an FA Cup, right? It could be. I honestly don't know what to predict. I don't know where the goals are going to come from. That's my issue. So
to come back to you.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to say it's going to be low scoring. I think it's either going to be we're going to nick it 1-0 or they're going to be clinical, maybe win it 2-0 or something. You've got
to pick a score and a winner. That's the whole point of predictions.
All right, 1-0 to us, nicked it in the last 15 minutes or something. 1-0 Spurs. Will. It's only the FA Cup, Will. Don't worry.
2-1.
A lot of people have gone 2-1 in the comments. All right, 2-1. Swifty's gone 3-1 City. JP.
Yeah, man. 2-1 Spurs. Kulu and Richarlison.
1-0. 2-1. 2-1. Iggy.
Kulu and Richarlison.
Been saying 1-0 for 2 weeks. I'm sticking with it. 2-1's a really good probability, but I'm sticking with 1-0.
City get their first goal. They score first. They're all buzzing. We nick it 2-1 at the end.
Such a shame we don't have a player like Isak playing up front for us. Oh my god, we.
I'm gonna go. Oh, do you know what? I said on Savage Show yesterday we're gonna win it 1-0, but
Sav,
as
I don't think we're gonna win.
comes, you're changing your mind, right?
Sav, I don't think we're gonna win it.
Today, I'm thinking 2-2 replay.
You know what? I'll take that.
Go for it.
If losing is the choice.
At the end of the day, we're playing one game a week, so playing another game midweeks.
Yeah,
they'll have Champions League as well, right? Coming soon.
It stinks.
Probably at
their ground. It stinks.
Depending when the game, depending when that replay is, we might even have Sonny back.
All right.
Well, I think it's 2 weeks after, isn't it?
Okay. Most Spurs. Listen, the majority of Spurs fans on channels and socials, and even tonight, they all think we're going to win. So I always get worried when our fans predict win, because that's normally when it doesn't happen. I always prefer it when it's just a mixed bag of results, because then normally we do all right. Everyone's confident.
No one will be short, man. No one will be short if Man City come and beat us 2-0.
Everyone thinks we're going to win.
But that's the fan in us. Still, that's the fan in us. We're fully aware.
That's when I get worried.
We're fully aware of Man City.
Hold on. Not true. Because when we went away to City and we had Davies and Emerson, we all said, "Yeah, we're losing, man.
We're going to get battered.
We go and draw." So this is what I mean. It's like I don't like it when Spurs fans are too confident, because that's normally when we come unstuck.
We've got to believe. We've got to beat them, innit? We've got to have some sort of belief. If we go there defeated already,
we'll go for it. I think Spurs will give it a go. I don't think we're going to.
I think we'll play our normal football, right?
We're
not going to change or anything like that. It'll be attacking. We'll be on the front foot. It's just it'll probably be end to end as well.
Listen, if there is a winner, I agree with Lee. If there is a winner, I think for me it's Spurs. If there's a winner on the day, it's Spurs. Do you think that?
Score?
If there's a winner. 3-2 Spurs.
3-2 Spurs. So a lot of goals there.
I thought you were asking us who's scoring.
Two of them will be penalties. We ain't scoring from open play.
We've had one penalty all season.
I don't think we're getting from open play. I just don't see it. Not with.
It could be the Werner and Dragon show. Or Weeder.
Werner ain't doing shit against City.
I think the pigeon's going to strike again.
The pigeon might. Yeah, the pigeon will probably strike. He probably will. He's in good.
Fire.
He's in good form.
I think the pigeon will strike again, mate. That's my.
Dean's prediction is, I can't wait for Friday and beat the Slags. There you go. That's a good prediction.
Tell him, Dean.
How's that for a prediction? Oh my lord.
Yeah, who's scoring 3 goals still? Good question.
Whoever takes penalties. Who takes penalties for Spurs?
Son.
Not without him.
Well, exactly. Then who's scoring them?
Madison comes on with 20 minutes to go and scores 2 penalties. There you go. Richie.
Who is the penalty taker in Son's absence?
Could be Richie.
No, yeah, if Madison's not on the pitch, who would take it?
Please don't let Richie take the penalty.
It's going to be Richie, isn't it?
It's got to be Richie, right?
Please. Do you know what? I'd give it to like Romero van der Ven.
Ball boy.
Porro can strike a ball. I'd give it to Porro.
All right.
He can crack a ball.
Maybe. That's a good shout, Porro might.
Top bins. I want to move on to the league table. Arsenal won, Liverpool won, and the league now looks like this. So Liverpool have gone 8 points clear of Spurs. So I think the title talk is pretty much almost dead. Although, if Liverpool lose to Arsenal or draw and Spurs win, we go back to 5 or 6 points, and then it changes again. So we don't know yet.
Couple of injuries, European football coming their way.
But City and Liverpool right now are in great form. They're in really good form. Arsenal, all right, they beat City, but City were depleted. No Anderson, no Elise. The fans are protesting in the corner of the stadium. I mean, that was a pretty straightforward win. West Ham drew, Brighton are drawing, United, they didn't play. So, in terms of the league table, do you guys still think that there's an outside chance for the league? Are we still dark horses, or are we just we're just in a top 4 race? Let's just leave it at that.
For me, I stand by what I said all season. Sorry, top 4 for me would have top 4 and a really good run in the FA Cup. That will be a good year 1 for this Spurs team. Year 1, as in year 1 under Postecoglou. I think, Europe would have, I always said it, September, October, Europe would be just a really good, even if it was Europa League. But at this point in the season, it would be disappointing not to make top 4, given our season so far. And I think we still can make top 4 because Chelsea and Man United are just off, and it's really Aston Villa. It's between ourselves and Aston Villa. I think the other 3 places are cemented, really. With Arsenal, I think Arsenal will get it. We're not going to finish above Liverpool, Will. So, Man City, Man City, Liverpool.
To be fair, Will said we'll finish above Arsenal. He never said Liverpool. He said Arsenal.
All right, I stand corrected. So it's really between ourselves and Man City, top 4. Sorry, ourselves and Aston Villa. Ourselves and Aston Villa. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Like,
the other three
tiramisu you had before.
No. The other 3 teams are done. I think it's just ourselves and Aston Villa. So for me, if it comes between us and them, I fancy us. I back us to finish ahead of them.
Villa have got Europe.
Yeah.
They're in the FA Cup.
Well, so if with players coming back 1 game a week, we've got to try and finish in that top 4. And then we'll see what happens in the summer. But yeah, man, if we can go, listen, this is what I'm saying. Friday's massive because I think it's going to be it could be a massive boost. But then again, a silver lining. Someone said, who did I hear saying it the other day? If Spurs were to go out of the FA Cup, they're solely focused on the league. Really.
It's another trophy this season.
I don't agree with it. But
24 years.
Yeah, but still, the expectations of this year, well, there were none. Okay, let's be frank. Most of us said 7th or 8th. We're not going to win anything. Angie's first year, we're overdoing what we should have done. So don't feel hard on yourself if we go out. Right? Don't feel hard on yourself.
Listen, I don't feel hard on me. It gives me more ammunition to go against the fans that come for me.
I think it would be good for us though to stay in the FA Cup.
Process, rebuild, 24 years of it. We've got to live silverware, man. We've got to live silverware.
I think there's a level of there will be a level of flatness if we go out of the FA Cup because you're right. Then it's like another season without.
It's Man City though, guys. It's to Man City. If you go out the FA Cup to Man City, it's Man City, right? Listen, if it was another Sheffield United or a bloody Exeter City or something like that, honestly, we'd be burning the stadium down. But it's not. It's Man City. Let's not take it away from them because they are the best team in the world.
I don't think the disappointment would be to losing to City. The disappointment would be to exiting another cup following the one that we went out.
For me. Is if we go out to Man City and we turn up and we only give 70%, we sit back and let them absolutely batter us and they beat us 3 or 4-0. That's not acceptable for me. If we give it a good go and we go out to Man City, so be it. It is what it is.
We are not going to sit back against anyone. We're never going to do that.
Do you know what? That when you think of that early exit against Fulham, you just think to yourself, if we're stuck it out a little bit longer, it might have been talking.
The only game this season I've seen Spurs play proper shit was away to Wolves. Even at Brighton, when they beat us 4-0, we rallied. We still kept fighting to the end.
Always felt there was a goal there, didn't you?
Yeah, we just had a terrible first half. But Wolves was dog shit. As soon as we scored in the first minute, we were awful for 95 minutes. Absolute trash. Other than the Wolves game and Fulham, actually. Fulham in the Carabao Cup was a joke, but he changed everyone. Every other game, Burnley.
We saw
Burnley, we weren't that good either.
We saw a couple of games where we weren't so good. First half against Aston Villa was all right. The second half at home against Aston Villa wasn't so good. We outdid them stats wise on everything other than the goals that day. Do you know what I mean? We went for them. And that's been a problem. That's been the Achilles heel all season. Not scoring enough goals, not converting the amount of chances that we're creating. That's been our biggest Achilles heel this season. I just hope that if we can convert 50% of the chances we create.
You've got the stats. What's been the average quality of our chances we've created? Because like against Man United, I know we had 13 shots, 6 chances, but what's the quality of the chances? Because like, you can have 10 shots from 40 yards. Oh, we had 14 shots, but they're all from the halfway line. What's been the actual quality of our chances?
So you're talking like the actual quality or the bullshit stat of XG?
Whatever stat tells us how good are these chances we're creating. Are they good chances on average? Is it above the average of the other clubs? Or are they just, look, we're taking lots of shots, but the chances of them actually going in are low based on where we're shooting from and how many defenders are in front of the shot and stuff like that?
Yeah, so
whatever stat you would use for that. I mean, I don't know what.
I use post save XG because that sees how much the keeper was actually tested, right? So let's see.
Yeah, but hold on, Will, that's not a good one because Werner
that's the
had
best
4
one.
shots and he missed the target each time.
Right, so those don't count. That's what I'm saying. Those shots all
but they're good chances. No, but they were good
chances. If you sky the ball over the goal, you don't have a chance of scoring.
No. Okay. So the question I'm asking is, how good is the opportunity to score? That's what I'm asking. So you're
just saying basic XG, then, right?
Yeah. Okay, go with that.
To be honest, the Werner one, apart the one that I felt they could have done better with for sure was the left foot where he dragged it across.
And the header, the header from about 6 yards and headed it wide.
The one that he skied where it almost caught that pigeon, which has been frustrating the Tottenham guys in the stadium for about 3 weeks now. That was probably the best chance we had of getting that pigeon. Not the one on the pitch.
But I mean, that shot was like 30 yards out, so it's not like it was.
I wouldn't count that as a good. I wouldn't count that as a good chance.
So we are in XG so far this season. We are 7th.
So
non-penalty XG. Let's remove pens from it. We are 4th.
Okay, so we're we're top 4 for the quality of chances we create. So that's good.
Yeah, and we're like 5. We're 5 back from Liverpool.
Okay, so that's very good.
And they're number 1. So.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm watching watching City, watching Liverpool the other night against Bournemouth. That second, they look like they would have scored every time.
But Iggy, what we're saying
they weren't that good in the first half.
We're actually creating good chances. So
converting them, man.
So our problem is we're not.
But when you're talking about actual chances, so you're talking post-shot expected goals, right? That's what it means, because like the ones that actually challenge a keeper, we are.
Yeah, but see, the
that's just it. A lot of our chances, we don't challenge the keeper.
I saw the keeper that much.
Yeah, we don't
make
we're still up there.
The only game I remember that we had lots of chances and the keeper was good on the night was the Aston Villa game. I remember we was peppering them, and
that's the most frustrating game this season. I think we've had.
We
should have won that game.
So many chances in the first half.
That was a mess.
And Martinez was making saves, and we just couldn't score. We just couldn't score on the night.
Because we got to play them again yet, haven't we?
Yeah,
and they're not going to let us do that again. I can tell you now.
They're different at their place, aren't they, as well?
I don't know, because I watched Arsenal go to Aston Villa away, and Arsenal actually dominated them. They lost, but that's because they couldn't finish their dinner, Arsenal. But if I think we play better football than Arsenal, and I know we do. I don't know. I think Villa away, we might play them off the park again. Whether we win or not, I don't know. I don't know. But I think we'll outplay them up there, Lee. If we've got all our players back, of course. Because I saw Arsenal do it, and Arsenal aren't all that.
I mean, did you watch that first half against Palace? They were awful. Like, they had a good second half. But that first half against Palace, they literally had the only shots on target they had were the headers from corners that they scored. One was an own goal.
Lee Gunner had a very good opinion on that earlier on another channel. I thought they were absolutely diabolical.
They were absolutely diabolical the first half. 100%. He's absolutely
the scoreline was just, it doesn't really tell the picture.
Completely over flattering.
So back to the league, though, I think that Liverpool's next and Man City's actually next 5 games are probably going to be telling. I think if they win their next 5, which I think they're expected to do given the opposition, I think it will be very, very hard for us to keep anywhere near them or City.
Liverpool have got Chelsea, Arsenal, Burnley, Brentford and Luton Town.
Well, there's 9 points straight away. You would hope that they would do one over an Arsenal again, and I mean, really, I think they beat Chelsea as well. But again, see what happens on the day. But I'm going to disagree with you, Iggy, in a very polite manner, and I still think, personally, for me, it's Man City and Liverpool battling it out for the top 2 spots. I think the other 3 spots are completely open. Arsenal, Aston Villa, and Tottenham completely open, and as to where they're going to finish.
You don't think Arsenal have? I mean, I know mathematically speaking, they haven't cemented anything. None of the teams have really, but they're on 43 Arsenal, and we're like just be
3 points.
I'd expect Arsenal to finish in the top 4. But then again, you're right. When you look at it like that, 43 and 43 Aston Villa, why has that Arsenal got more chance of Aston Villa and vice versa? Listen, it's all up for grabs. I just think in the long run, I think Arsenal will do it. I do believe Arsenal will do it.
Nah.
But
they might get 4th.
I'm actually thinking that Aston Villa could be a dark horse here because they've got good strength in their squad, which we could have another couple of games and have another couple of injuries, and then we could be back to where we were before, and then we're struggling in games rather than just going out there and playing our football. I still think that 3rd, 4th, and 5th will be a battle.
We've got a really good run of fixtures coming up. We've got a good run of fixtures coming up.
But then after that,
Everton, Brighton,
we've got the running is awful, right? That's where we've got to have everyone back by.
We've got
Brentford, results.
Everton away, Brighton at home, Wolves, Chelsea. These are hard games, Iggy. Everton away,
Brentford at home.
Turned us over.
I fancy us against Brentford if we've got players back.
These are all at home now. Tottenham, Brentford at home.
Brighton beat us
away
at home
is a difficult one.
Brentford at home. Everton away.
Everton away is always difficult. It's always a tricky one.
Spurs at Brighton.
Listen, Wolves always beat us at home.
I think the next 3 or 4 games will be very
telling, anything and everything will go wrong in that game, for sure. You know it.
9 more players will get injured.
Chelsea away, we might as well just wave the white flag. I mean, we never get anything there, man.
It can't happen again. It's serious because if it does, as much as City are the bogey team coming, we're their bogey team when they come to us. Surely Chelsea's got to be a bogey team for us. If it happens again, injuries, red cards, and stuff. What I don't get with Romero is that when he did that on that night, why against Chelsea? Do it against Arsenal. Yeah, all right, do something like that. Kick someone into the stands. But they're not even going to bother this year.
Romero
What's the point?
Cucurella's hair.
Yeah.
Equaliser.
Well, he shouldn't have his hair so long, shouldn't he? You're asking for trouble.
The other thing I wanted to look at the league is, if you compare, this is from 1st of January last year to this year. Basically, Liverpool, West Ham, Villa and Wolves and Bournemouth are the best performing teams. They've all had between 9 to 16 points upswing. And then at the bottom is Newcastle, Arsenal, Brentford and Man United, who have got a negative 10. Spurs, we're up 4 points from this point last season. So our improvement is there, but it's not as wow as maybe we thought, because maybe we're being a little bit misled by the good football. But in terms of a results business, we're 4 points better. Whereas Bournemouth, who was it again? Bournemouth, Wolves, Villa, West Ham, they're much better than what they did last year. They're actually improved more than us. You're looking at
outside. Well, that's because the fairy tale that we played poorly is not true last season.
Yeah, we didn't play. Yeah. We got results
fourth all the way until April,
until Conte left.
Yeah. Outside of the points, though, still it is a bit of a 360, isn't it? In terms of the
style of play,
football, the mood at the ground, some of the dead players that we've actually got rid of, some of the new players that we've got. So while we're 4 points better off points-wise, I think the whole club or team has gone in a really upward trajectory.
But will history look at what you've said, or will it look at the league table?
4 points doesn't matter, does it? At the end of the day, if we finish 5th and we finished 8th last year, it's what are you going to look at?
Well, no, it's an improvement. We're back in Europe. It's a step forward, but
we're not finishing 5th, though, guys.
It could be 4 points different. No, I'm just personally, I think we will finish.
I think Spurs are getting top 4. I've been saying that for ages.
I think we will finish in the Champions League spots. But
we'll if we finish 3rd, I swear now.
We will finish 3rd.
And Arsenal 5th. Villa 4th, Arsenal 5th.
Marty McFly literally came and visited me and told me we're finishing 3rd.
Did he give you that book with all the results? Did he give you that book with all the results?
Yep, he gave me the book.
I've got a question for you.
Was it Biff?
Biff
with the book.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Biff.
Sorry,
going off of what we know now. What would you rather do? Would you rather finish in 5th and have a really good chance in Europe in that competition, or finish in 4th, but potential there that we may not get out the group stages of the Champions League? What would you rather do next season? Seeing as I still see it as the second year, still as a building season in terms of we've got foundation, but there's still going to be tweaks. Would you rather have a run in a European competition that potentially with the squad we could win it, or going into Champions League and just hoping that we get results against much better teams in Europe?
Woo! I guess my take on it, Lee, would be the fact that, do you know what? Let's finish in a Champions League spot, get the Champions League money, and if we don't do anything in the Champions League,
but we keep saying that, JP. But you only get Champions League money if you get to the right to the end.
I feel I'm in the Back to the Future time machine. Now,
what's wrong with then going into the Europa?
Who?
If we end up in a Champions League spot, as in 4th, then falling into the Europa if we don't.
Who's them, JP?
Good point.
Yeah, and then we've got some Champions League experience,
and then okay, I get you.
And then a full go at the Europa League.
Sorry, what were we saying here? I'm lost.
Afterwards.
Say that again, JP.
No. So I was saying, well, there's nothing wrong with qualifying for the Champions League, right? Going through the first league stages of whatever it is, and if we end up in the Europa League, then give that Europa League a good hit at that point, as opposed to, I think Lee was saying, don't qualify for Champions League, qualify in 5th or 6th or whatever Europa is next season, and give that competition a right go, right? If we were to finish in the Champions League spots, we can give it a go. If we go into the Europa, then we've still got a solid opportunity to give that a full go.
I think we should go after any competition that we're in. Give it your all.
No, I know, but that all depends on investment and what happens next year, right?
Well, if we're not going to invest properly, we might as well just stop now again. We'll just wait for Ange to leave or get sacked.
To go in Europe and not invest would be ridiculous, because if you haven't got a team, if a squad is not big enough to play what we're doing this season, how's it going to be good enough to play two competitions?
Been there, done that, Iggy. We've got the t-shirt.
We can't go into Europe and think that with this squad is gonna. Imagine the injuries we picked up this season already, playing one game a week, and the domestic cup. How are we gonna do Europe? That's 3
that
games
is
a week.
also what we said a couple of seasons ago, wasn't it? We finished in the Champions League. We've got Conte at the helm, a
Back to the future.
quality manager. Let's invest.
Can I just quickly address a comment here from Lena? She says, could you maybe interact with the chat more instead of having closed off dialogues? Otherwise, you might as well have pre-recorded this. Lena, just to answer you,
super chat.
There's just so many messages coming in that to sit here clicking on them, it's hard to have the chat. So most people that tune in want to listen to the conversation. If you super chat, we'll put it up on the screen. If you're a channel member, we'll put your message up on the screen. But literally to put up every single message, we put up some at different stages that are relevant to the conversation, but there's just too many people, and we end up just engaging with the comments and not actually discussing the topics at hand.
Yeah, the show's not a Q&A, by the way. But if you have a question and you want to interrupt us like you've done, you could do it in a super chat and we'll read it out right away.
I think Spurs are getting top 4 this year. I've said it for a while. After that start we had, we'll get it. We'll do it.
But the thing is, we also got, if we look at, depending on how far we go in the cup, we're back to 1 game a week. And when we get all our players back, you'll have your Sonny's back, Papasar, Basuma, all stuff like that. There's no reason why we can't end the season like we started it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's after, 3 weeks into February, which should be when Sonny's back, and a couple of the other guys probably will be back earlier than that. I think that's where we start pushing on. That's when we start pushing on and the results need to come in. But then it's a case of it all then depends on what the other guys do, right? So it's...
Listen,
but I mean, you mentioned the run. It's out of our hands, isn't it? It's just we focus on getting as many 3 points as we can. Don't lose to your Man Cities and...
I still think we're dark horses, by the way. I still think we're dark horses. By the way, when I say dark horses, that means that I don't expect us to win it. But if you're going to put a bet on an outsider against all
40 to 1, aren't we? Yeah, us and Aston Villa are both 40 to 1. It's got worth a tenner, isn't it?
You start sweating as soon as I say dark horses.
No, we just think you're a Katy Perry fan. That's what it is.
Okay. I think we are dark horses. It's between Liverpool, City will probably win it. I mean, if you're going to put real money, you put it on them. But if you just wanted to chuck a fiver on an outside bet, put it on Spurs. As an outside bet.
This is where I go mad, because in one hand, you cuss Brennan Johnson, you cussed him well. Who's going to get the goals? Blah blah blah. But then we're dark horses. With what goals? With what goals can we be dark horses?
Well, because Sonny,
that means we can't win enough games.
No, because Sonny, Kulu, Basuma.
Yeah, but Sonny at best. Son at the very best. If let's say that South Korea go all the way, we're not going to see him till after the Brighton game. If they go all the way,
3 weeks time.
If they get knocked out, you're making it sound like it's tomorrow. 3 weeks time, man. 3 weeks time. You know how many games we would have played?
There's only 3 league games. We surely can beat Brentford at home without Sonny.
Everton,
Brighton, Brentford.
Everton away will be difficult, but I can see Richarlison shitting on his old doorstep.
He's going to be up for that game.
The pigeon will fly. But you're right. Listen, Iggy, that's why I'm saying dark horses, because it's not expected, isn't it? It's like, let's get real. But I do think Spurs are going to have a big say in this title. We're going to have a big say in this title.
I do feel that even on loan or gap, whatever you want to call it, if we'd maybe brought in try to bring in like a top player through the door for the next 6 months to say, let's see you, man. And that would have been so.
I've been arguing this for 2 weeks.
There's so many opportunities out there. There's so many opportunities out there to get one through the door, and it's just like it feels like we're just not even looking. That's my feeling. Listen, tomorrow Spurs might announce a player on loan for 6 months with option to buy in a year and a half's time, and then we'll all be.
See,
right now, I'm looking at it. I'm thinking.
Wait, the only players and I want to talk about this at some point, right? Because the only players we're linked with right now are 18-year-old midfielders, and I thought you guys told me last week that our midfield academy guys were great. So, just saying.
I don't talk about youth football.
Yeah, but hold on.
I'm not even an expert. I'm not even claiming to be an expert on this.
Listen, we'll come to that because I actually want to talk about players. Just quickly, because I want to stay on topic for a second. Mappin says, but the last 10 games of the league will decide who'll win the league. Look who we're playing in the last 10 games. We play United. We play Liverpool. We play Chelsea. Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We play Arsenal. Man City.
Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Newcastle.
And Chelsea.
We've already played United twice.
And Chelsea. And we played Chelsea.
We played Chelsea in like 3 weeks. It's not the end of the season.
Yeah, Chelsea.
There's one of the big teams. There's one of the big team. Newcastle away. That's it. We've got Newcastle away. Right? We will have a big say in what happens this season. I'm telling you. But yeah, look. Let's go on to players because that is a topic I wanted us to speak about: transfers and loans. The first one I wanted to talk about. In fact, Will, let's start with this one because you brought it up. There's a few I want to talk about. But Antonio Nusa. So talks taking place between Spurs and Club Brugge for Nusa. No formal bid yet. Understand Nusa doesn't want to leave in January. Deal could be done now for the summer. Many clubs keen. Highly talented player. Everyone's saying he's the next Messi. Blah 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 blah.
He's 18, man. 18
years old.
Gil. The difference is when you look at this kid. I know you're saying he's only 18, but when you look at this kid, he's one of these players, a bit like a Van der Ven, where he plays above his age. He's the difference between him and say, like, you know, let's just pick one of the kids in our youth academy, like, I don't know, Santiago or someone like that, or Donnelly. You watch what this kid does, and he reminds me a bit like of a Doku at Man City, who just came out of nowhere. He's taking it around people for fun. Although a lot of people have an opinion of Doku, says he's not really that good. He runs it out of play too much. But if you watch him, he's the kind of winger that we need. He's no fear about taking people on. He's got the skill to do it, and he just plays with flair. The only thing that worries me is that he is doing it in a league right now. Will it be the same as the players that he's doing in the Premier League?
Doku's finding the difficulties. The difficulties that Doku's finding at Man City, that other than the fact he's playing in a great team and the competitions, and he's surrounded by immense talent. He's having to play against opposition. He's finding more good teams than bad. You see, in their league, their respective league, and I don't really follow that league, but I'd imagine they'll probably have 3 or 4 really good teams, and the rest of them are just kind of like on the average level. Maybe see, we in the Premier League, it's a bit different. You're coming up against really good opposition, even if they're mid-table. They're still good opposition. So I don't know, man. Look, I don't have a problem with finding 18, 19-year-old talented player, and I'm sure Nusa falls into that category. For me, it's just that it seems that the players that we want to attract are solely 18, 19, 20-year-old, because they would hold their value, you know, even more so. They'd say going for someone like Kevin, you know, Trippier, for example, he's 33 years old, and Newcastle won 11, 12 million for him. We would never go for those sort of players because there's no add-on values. He would only lose value. But he's ready to hit the ground running now. I use Trippier as an example, but I could have said absolutely anyone in that age. And I just feel like you have to find the right cocktail, bring in the right amount of players, the young players, like players already, not experienced players. I don't feel like we're doing that much.
Yeah, but like for me, Nusa, the numbers are good. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. That wasn't my point. My point is the reason why we're out there looking for 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old players that are good is because ours aren't. That was my point.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything in our youth setup right now, Will, that plays like he does.
I disagree.
So who in the under 21s or the under 23s if when you look at the way that they take it past players' skill, you know, jogging past players like for fun on a Sunday afternoon. I don't see any of those kids doing that.
It's literally the Belgian league, right? So there's that kicker, right? But if you were to prepare the Belgian league, would you say it's equivalent to like maybe the championship as far as like overall quality? Maybe a little bit below the championship, but overall, when you're playing
championship's a good level. Championship's a good level.
But what I'm saying is this kid at 18 is in the 99th percentile for most every like progressive carries, successful take-ons, progressive passes received.
All his stats are against low opposition players.
Right, like the championship. That's what I'm saying. But we don't have any midfielders now in our academy who could go to the championship and get anywhere near those numbers.
Here's my problem, right? None of the kids in our academy are being given a real chance. They're not. It's not. We're not doing it. I've come to the realization. No, Will. That none of them are getting a chance at Spurs. I've come to the realization it's a waste of time having an academy at Spurs. It's a myth. Just shut it down. Do what Brentford did. Shut it down. You don't need it. Just buy in the talent. We wasted £50 million on this kid, Brennan Johnson, who sucks. Are you telling me a Santiago, a Donnelly, one of them, if they were given the amount of game time that Brennan Johnson's been given, they couldn't at least show us something different? Yeah. We will never know. We will never know because it's not happened, right? So it's impossible to know. But the point is, we spent 50 million on him. Now we're talking about 30 million on this young kid who, you're tearing up the Belgium league. He could turn out to be the next Bale. He could turn out to be another Jack Clark. We have no idea. He's 18.
Yeah, but hold on. But what I'm saying is hold on.
Ashley Phillips. We signed Ashley Phillips. Are you telling me Charlie Sawyers or Dorrington as centre-backs aren't better?
They're not. That's why we signed him. So my point
is, been superb for Spurs in the academy, Will.
But that's the academy. That's the Premier League too. It's a completely different level.
Ashley Phillips hasn't even played. He's hardly played any pro games.
What are you talking about? I mean? He played 8 games for Blackburn and was really, really good. What are you talking about?
Will, it was all right.
It wasn't all right.
Look, for me, well, guess what? He's not playing for us. He can't be that good. So if you're going to use the same argument, well, if our players aren't that good, then Ashley Phillips ain't that good because he don't play for us.
He was injured. He hasn't played yet. I guarantee
he's on loan. He's on loan at Plymouth Argyle. He's not injured. We've loaned him out. If he was that good,
he plays before Dorrington.
Well, yeah, but the point is, if he was that good, he'd be playing for Spurs now. He's not. And this is my argument. Like we keep buying all these young kids. We hoard them. We hype them up. We do it all the time. And then where are they? Where are these kids? The only kids that have ever broken into this team in the last 3 years have actually delivered are Ledley King, Judas Campbell, and Harry Kane. And that includes the ones we bought.
Doji's a kid.
Yeah, but Pape Sarr, we bought him for the first team, right? He's come in, he's playing.
Yeah, but he was 19 when we bought him.
Yeah, but he's come in, he's playing, Will.
Yep, this kid, we're
talking about going back on loan. Yeah, but then what?
But that's the same as it's the same as Pape Sarr, isn't it? We bought him, left him, loaned him back to the club to the end of the season, and then brought him in. Same with Udogie, we did the same thing. Bought him, loaned him back.
Udogie's only 20. Emerson Royal's 20. Right? These are our kids. These guys. Some of these guys are younger than some of the academy players sitting on the bench.
Yeah, but Will, this goes back. Okay, last week I made the argument, or on whoever's channel it was, where I said we are 4-0 up against Newcastle. They can't make any more subs because they've made them all. They're depleted. The game was done. There's 20 minutes to go. You've got a bench full of kids. Bring them on. We don't even do that. That is things like that makes me realise we have no interest in bringing through our academy players into the first team. We're not interested. We'd like to buy them from other clubs and maybe integrate those players like Pape Sarr, like Brennan Johnson. Maybe we do it with this Nusa kid. But the ones we develop, we've got no interest in playing them for this club.
They're not good.
So shut down the academy. So we'll shut down the academy.
Or improve the academy so that we actually make good players. That's my point. It's not shut it down.
The under-21s, the under-18s are tearing up.
Ask Daniel Levy when he's going to make the academy worthwhile. That's his job, not mine.
But I just gave you an example. Against Newcastle United, with 4-0 up, the game is done. You can bring on the youngsters. Let's see what they got. We don't do it. There's no excuses not to give them a run.
If you know what they got and you know they don't got it, why would you bring them on?
Why have them on the bench then?
In case the Chelsea happens. But I just want to say something here too. Like this guy right here, Ashley Phelps was injured.
What do you mean? No, hold on 1 minute. What do you mean in case Chelsea happens? I don't understand that.
Like we get players sent off. And
boom, 5-6 people get injured. We go down to bare bones and we have no other choice.
So you're telling me we had a bench full of kids in case we go down to 9 men?
Yeah, because that's all we could put on the bench. We didn't even have a full bench stuff.
But surely it makes more sense to bring on the kids when you've got 11 on the pitch and you're 4-0 up, not when you're under the cosh falling apart with 9 men and you chuck on the kids to throw them under a bus. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and
Spurs
came on in that game for like 5 minutes at the end of it. What are you talking about?
5 minutes. Will, we have got no interest. We have got no interest as a club. I'm not going to go at you, by the way. I'm just saying Tottenham Hotspur have not shown me any sign that they want to progress the youngsters that they develop at this club. I haven't seen it. Once in a blue moon, we do it. They've had the opportunity. I honestly think we are developing players to sell. I do not believe we're developing.
But we're not even doing that. So, last person we sold was Cameron Carter-Vickers to Celtic for $5 million.
It's not like we've even sold any in this window,
Marcus Edwards. We sold Marcus Edwards. We sold who's that young lad who's now been signed by Chelsea?
Edwards went for a lower fee than even Cameron Carter-Vickers did.
Who's that boy at Chelsea that we sold to a European club and then Chelsea's gone and bought him? Is it McQuaid?
McQuaid.
Yeah. So I actually think the academy is purely for business. It's to make money, sell and loan and generate money for the club. They've got no interest in developing the talent. None. They'd rather buy it all in. So shut it down. For me, shut it down. We don't need it.
You were quite impressed with it when you went and did a session there and
JP, it's good.
Months back, right?
It's good. It's good what they're doing. The new academy director from Man City, bang on it. They're doing the right thing.
Under 23s are top the league and under 21, under 18s.
So look, I'm going to tell you the difference. The difference isn't what the system or the coaches that work there or the facilities, right? None of that's the problem. It's the level of kids that we're identifying and recruiting into the academy that's the problem. Look at Chelsea, look at City, look at those other clubs and the kids that they're bringing in at 13, 14, 15, and 16 years old. They're bringing in quality people. We're not.
Yeah, but the job of an academy
how comes with
14, 15. The kids get signed at 8.
Yeah, but it's both of that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is
you don't know at 8 years old if a kid's going to be good at 20. That's impossible to know.
No, but that's your job to develop them. But if you sign an 8-year-old and he's still there at 18,
name one player that Manchester City has brought through their academy that started at U8s.
Will, I don't know every kid that
none. That's what I'm saying. City brings them in at 13, 14 from all around, right?
Will. Half of our under 21s were signed between the age of 8 and 10.
Yeah, that's our problem. That's my point. City doesn't do that.
But hold on. If you're still at the club, that means the academy director and the head coaches have said, we're going to give you a scholarship. You are going to be paid between 18 to 21 to represent us.
That's the problem.
Yeah, but they're not picking shit players. You won't do that with a crap player. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, if we were picking good players, they would be getting into sides. They're
only
not.
If we will. So explain to me why the kids didn't come on against Newcastle. We were 4-0 up, and they're on the bench, and the game's done
because they did come on.
They came on for 2-3 minutes. Will there's 20 minutes to go? We're 4-0 up. Why can't you bring them on? Let's see what they got. We don't do it. We're not interested. I've seen this club has lied.
There's a reason they're not interested. I'm sorry. Look, I just do not believe the conspiracy. Hold on. I do not believe the conspiracy theory that these kids are good and they're only not playing because of some kind of, list. Especially when we could have made 5 substitutions in that last game. The only players on the bench were kids. The only ones that didn't come on were kids. And the 3 players that are actually bought for the first team came on and played in that substitution. When we could have made 5 subs, we only made 3. I'm sorry, I do not believe in the conspiracy theory that because of a pecking order, these guys aren't getting a chance. They're not getting a chance because they're not good.
He brought on Højbjerg. And Højbjerg costed us a goal.
That's why they don't finish loan spells at other clubs. That's why they don't get minutes when they go to the Champions League or League One. It's because they're not good enough.
Then don't put them on the bench. Don't have them
They're
stay
the
at the
only
club
option we have to put on the bench. That's why
at the age of 18. At the age of 18, don't keep them at the club. Then cancel their contract.
I agree. Cancel the contract.
But we're not doing that, Will. We're not doing that.
It doesn't mean they're good.
No, it does, because
we don't have anyone else. That's why we're going out and buying 18-year-olds.
Will, you are giving them a salary. That means you think they're good. You're paying them money. That means you think they can do a job. Otherwise, you don't pay someone.
Because you have to fill a team. It's optics.
So buy them all in then. Buy them all in. Unless you think they're good enough.
Much better option.
We don't do that because we think they're good enough.
We don't think they're good enough. Otherwise, they'd play.
Then you wouldn't give them a 3-year scholarship and pay them a salary. Will.
Sure they do. It's hardly any cash in the long scheme of things.
Well, you think Levy's in the business of throwing money away?
I think he's in the business of optics, yes.
What do you mean? No, that's not what I asked. I asked you about money. You're talking about optics.
Yeah, so optics. Optics are things that companies use in order to project an image of strength. It's an expense that you spend.
So you're saying this is all PR then? That's what it's a con then. Okay,
yes.
Right. We agree this is a con. Iggy, Lee, and JP. Right? You've heard what Will thinks. You heard what I think. Do you think this club genuinely cares about bringing through the players we develop within, not the ones we bring in, like Pape Sarr and maybe Ashley Phillips in the future? The players that we develop in-house, do you think this club genuinely cares about progressing them into the first team? Like, what's your thoughts on it?
So all I will say is, as a youth coach who doesn't have the luxury of salaries and stuff like that, these kids that turn up to our training sessions and they want to play, the difference between training and an actual match, and even to our boys, where we're doing 7-a-side at the moment, if you saw them on a Saturday morning in training and then you said they got a match next day and then you come and watch them, it is like night and day. The difference between them when they're playing in a match and when they're playing in training is like night and day. Now, my point of this is, I'm sort of in between both of you, in the sense that when we're in a position to give these guys experience in the Premier League to really see what they're made of, then absolutely give them that experience. But as Stel's saying, there has not really been that much. There has been some, but not that much of that happening. But on the flip side of that, when we've been in dire situations where we've needed someone and we've all been, beating down on Davis is not good enough, Royal is not good enough. Okay, well, if these kids were good enough, then they would get ahead of these guys, and that's not happening either. So I think it's a bit of both, and I'm not going to side with either. I'm just going to sit in the middle and sit on the fence. So thanks for that. Bye bye.
Might as well call you Jurgen Cop out.
Yeah, Cop out. Yeah, call me Jurgen Cop out.
But I answer the question. So if Dane Scarlett is good enough, why is he can't get minutes in the championship, and why is he getting his loan deal?
Dane Scarlett isn't on the bench for Spurs. I get that, but he's not really.
He's not on the bench. He's not on the bench because he was on loan. He got loaned out because people thought he was good enough. It's the kids that get loaned out that are the ones that I think have opportunities. My question is, if he's good enough, why can't he even get minutes at the club he was loaned to and have his loan deal canceled by the club he went to because they don't need him? If he's good enough, why can't he play in the championship at 19, 20 years old?
All right. Why did they take him then?
Because they thought he was good enough at first.
So they don't know what
that everybody imagines, but then there's no product in actual games, so he gets his loan canceled.
So they don't know what they're doing. We don't know what they're doing. No one in the industry knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go. So everyone, all the coaches out there, they're clueless.
Not all of them, but some of them, yes.
For me, Dane Scarlett was never ready. I never said he was ready. He's not one of the players that I said he should be given game time. But we've got between 19 to 21-year-olds at this club who aren't even getting a look in. They're the ones.
Scarlett's had more minutes from the first team than any other academy player.
Exactly.
I think the only evidence of young players coming through has been Winks, Skip, and Kane.
And everyone hates him except for Kane.
Those are the only three that I can remember to date. That in however many years, I haven't seen any
going
other.
Back a little while, we had that Tom Carroll for a bit.
Troy Parra got a few minutes here and there, but I don't listen. I don't get it because we've been there has been a few games where you think, you know what, the game is done, whether we're winning 4-0 or perhaps we're losing or the game is over, and there's an opportunity to throw the kids on, give them a few minutes.
Joy Parrott's older than both Sar and Udogie, by the way.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the only evidence we've seen of any players that that have played a bit of football with the first team, but nothing. I don't know what the deal is. I don't think we are heavily invested in this youth academy. I think it's a factory where we get players into a certain level and then we move them on. If we're lucky enough, we get a Kane that comes through the ranks, and that's it. Skip's done okay, and Winks before him, but the rest of it is just so many. It's just like I feel like though the teams like Chelsea and Man City, they kind of handpick the youth players. They go nick everyone else's products and almost like use it as their own. Makes it look like they're the ones who
are born through. Yeah. I do agree with
this, guys. JP, sorry. Look, JP, you speak, then I'll say what I'm going to say. Go on.
No, I was going to say I do agree with Stell to a certain point in the fact that when we are 2-0 up, 3-0 up, whatever it is in the last 15, 20 minutes, that is the perfect opportunity to give them a chance. The fact that they're ripping it up in the under 23s and under 18s and things like that, they're scoring goals, they're winning games, they're top of the league, right? That's over your Man Cities and whoever else that we all claim have got the best academies and the best kids. So these guys are doing something right. The fact that they're at the top of the league above those teams. But it is strange the fact that we don't play them, whether it's the pressure of that first team, and when I say the pressure, I mean we have to compete. We have to be in the top 4 because it's money, because it's the manager's head on the block.
Yeah, but
whether it's those kind of pressures.
There's not been a lot of players though that have left the Tottenham academy because they were lacking opportunities in the Spurs team. Have gone away and have done really well. Maybe you can say Marcus Edwards has done a little bit well at Sporting.
Barely.
But other than that, who's left Spurs because they lacked opportunity to go and play and made it elsewhere?
No one.
You have to look at it, all of it. You have to look at all of it.
This is for the people in the chat that think that the Premier League 2 is somehow a good league, and that our under 21s being undefeated in that league or whatever is a sign that they're somehow good. Cambridge United in the Football League trophy, right? Please, you guys tell me what league does Cambridge United play in?
Non-league.
Yeah, no, you can't do that with youth football. No, you can't do it. I know what you're doing. No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
They got pumped by a non-league side 4-1.
No, sorry. No. Norwich City have had one of the best academies in the country for many years. Norwich City, right? So you can't look at a pro club in England and say, right, the academy should be as good as the pro club team.
That's my point.
Cambridge United are in the league. They're in the league. They're a league club. They're a professional football club. Cambridge United will.
Cambridge United
one of my players got signed by them. They are a pro club.
Probably in League One or something.
They're a low level. They're pro club. 100%.
Cambridge United.
My left winger got signed by them 2 years ago.
League One or something. The championship.
For a long time, Crew Alexandra.
Yeah, they were Grady or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, League One. League One.
We can't do this.
14th in League One.
Yeah.
14th in League One.
Yeah.
They're pro clubs. There's like 96 pro clubs.
Okay, but if these U21s are that good, why couldn't a 21, 20, 19, 18, 19, and 20-year-old men compete with? Because
youth football isn't purely about score lines. It's about developing individuals, and there'll be games where you say to a player, right, I know you're not a right winger, but I'm going to play you on the left for this game.
Right, but they're not doing that in the League Cup. That's not what I'm talking about. In these competitions against EFL sides, League Two, the coach isn't doing it. Hey, you know what? You're a winger, but I want you to play center back today so that you can get a good go at it. Right? That's not what they're doing.
Of course they do.
In a league, in a cup competition.
Yes, because
then those coaches should be sacked.
No, Will. At Spurs, right?
They should be sacked, all of them.
No.
Yes.
At Spurs, okay, you can say that. I disagree. At Spurs, what they do is, let's say we go and play in a German cup. We take the under-18s to the German cup, and we play Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen.
It's academies versus academies. I'm not talking about that. I understand that.
No.
Completely different situation.
No. I'm trying to explain to you that because this is relevant to everything. No, you haven't even let me finish, right? When you go and play in any cup competition, the academy director and the senior coaches, when the team comes back, the first question they ask is, which player stood out? Who looked like a star? Because that's the player that they want to consider trying to push forward. They won't say, what was the score? Did we win it? They want to know which player, because when you've got a squad of players at youth level, 90% of them aren't going to make it. But there's one or two that will. And they want to try and identify those players. And they're the ones, Will, that end up getting the scholarships at 18, which is why I was saying to you, when you get a scholarship
I'm not talking about
club,
I am not talking about.
You're trying to say because we lost the game.
I'm talking about the U21s. These guys have already on scholarship. These are the people. The U21 squad should be the squad of the people that are breaking in now. Their development is done.
No, it's not done. No, it's not, because they haven't made the leap
from that level.
Football.
Do they have they signed a contract with us? Yes or no? Professional contract.
They're under contract.
They're under professional contract. So they are professional athletes.
Yeah, but they haven't developed because they haven't played adult football yet. They haven't transitioned to adult football. I've said this many times. The biggest jump is from youth to adult.
Or are they not professional athletes once they sign a professional contract and begin?
They're not playing professional games.
Exactly.
Yeah. So their development
isn't done. Professionals.
You just said their development.
Anyone over the age of 18 is a professional.
Yeah, but now you're changing the argument. You've gone from.
No, I'm not.
You just said their development is done. It's not.
The development aspect that you're talking about, where they don't know what position they play, the coach is shifting them around so they can get better skills and stand out.
No,
that's done. There's no striker who's playing center back in the U21s.
Well, Harry Kane, when he burst onto the scene, was trash. He never took off until he was 22, 23.
Harry Kane was not playing winger or center back or midfield when he was in his 20s.
Okay, whatever I say here, you're going to disagree.
Your positional development is done by 18. That's what I'm talking about. You're not getting shifted around. Center backs aren't getting put in strikers. Strikers aren't playing center backs in order to gain experience and skills. At that age, your positional development is done. Positional development happens between U8 and U15.
Right. Now you're adding extra bits, right? When you said your development is done, what do you mean?
What were you talking about? You were talking about.
I think Will
the
means
word
their
development
position.
means you've developed as a player. That's it. You're finished.
No. You develop all the way into your mid-20s. I'm talking about your positional development was what you were referencing. I was rebutting your point. Your point was about positions. That these guys is the difference. Yes, you did.
I never once said position.
VAR.
You're lying. You're
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are.
I'm literally not.
Position. No. Go and rewind it.
You said that these players, the coaches, the purpose of the academy is for these guys, and that the coach will move them around and they'll play different positions. I said that aspect of development. You were talking about 15s and 16-year-olds.
No, Will. No. I said, because you started one argument, I challenged you, and you created 5 other arguments. Now you're just mudding the argument. I don't know what to pick one. Your initial point was that we lost this particular game. And I said, but coaches don't always look at results. They look at developing players. And it might be a case where a player's been played in a different position to develop a certain side of the body that they're weak on, right? I'm not talking about positional play. I'm talking about developing the player so they're ready to make the leap to adult football. At Spurs, we do not transition our youth players to adult football. We are awful at it. We just don't do it. We've had chances this season. We could have done it. And we've said, no, we're not going to bring through the youngsters. People in the chat saying to me, oh, Donnelly came on for 5 minutes. What's he going to do? Run around?
Please explain to me why a team that was playing League 2 just 2 seasons ago smashed our U21s 4-1.
Because on the day they were better than us. It's academy football, Will.
These are kids that are supposed to be bought in our academies to play Premier League football.
Explain to me why Colchester United knocked
these
Tottenham Hotspur out the
kids-
the FA Cup with Pochettino.
Okay.
Explain to me how Sheffield United knocked out Conte's Tottenham Hotspur with Harry Kane in the FA Cup. Shit happens sometimes. It just fucking goes wrong, right? It's football.
These kids were brought into our academy to.
You pick one game where the
play
academy
Premier
lost,
League
using
football.
that as the example. It's one game.
No.
How many times did we lose to a Cambridge United? Will?
I'm saying that Premier League 2 cannot even be compared to Premier League 1 or to the Football League 1 or Football League 2. The level is far
Tottenham
below.
Under Poch lost to Colchester United.
Okay.
It happens, right? Yeah. Listen, we've got a point here. All I wanted to know is, does everyone think, like Iggy, JP, do you think our young players get a proper crack at it? And when I say young, I mean the ones we've developed, not the ones we've signed at the age of 18, 19, like Pape Sarr. Maybe we signed Nusa. What's his name? Phillips. The ones that we have from that age of kind of 10, 11, 12, bring them. Are they getting a crack? I'm talking about the Dane Scarlets. I'm talking about the Dorringtons, the Donnellys, the Charlie Sawyers, the Santiagos. Are they being given a crack at the whip? Even the substitute goalies.
They're not being given a crack at the whip, but at the same time, they're probably not good enough to the level required.
Thank you.
That's the only thing I can come up with still.
So you're telling me
why wouldn't Ange give him a go? Why wouldn't Ange do it?
Because I think the club doesn't want it. Because it's
a conspiracy theory, still.
It's not conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. It's not.
They said literally that they want to give the academy Daniel Levy with his own mouth said that he wants to create a path from the academy to the first team. Why wouldn't he? It saves him money. Right?
Daniel Levy said building the stadium wouldn't affect transfers. We didn't buy anyone for 2 years. We know he lies. Right? We know he lies. Do you want to do a show about Levy lying?
Okay.
Let's not do that.
You saying that the club doesn't want to bring... You're saying the club doesn't want to bring the academy.
I don't think they're interested. No, I don't think they mean it. I don't, because there's no excuse when you're 4-0 up against Newcastle. Newcastle, they've given up. They've got no more subs. They've made all their subs. Trippier's having a stinker and they can't get him off the pitch. The game is done, and with 20 minutes to go, we can't bring on one youngster and say, there's 20 minutes done. Show us what you've got. We can't do that. For us not to do that,
there's no interest. There's no interest in doing it.
That's my point, Iggy. That's my point.
There's no interest in doing it. But maybe the truth is somewhere in between.
They're good enough.
Listen, maybe the truth is somewhere in between.
How can you not be good enough to come on when you're 4-0 up? How can you not be good enough yet you're on the bench? You're good enough to come on for 5 minutes. What
would be the purpose? What would be the purpose of doing that if there's not going to be any continuity?
Exactly.
Moving forwards, if
you
genuinely believe in a talent.
Who picked the players to be on the bench? Whose decision is that?
Yeah, no, I agree. But then there's the manager. I think there's been a couple of games.
Finish it off.
I think there's been a couple of
games for the bench, but he's not prepared to bring him on. Don't put them on the bench. Do not pick them for the bench.
So just have an empty bench.
I think we had a shortage of players though. We had to nominate.
Just have an empty bench.
If you are on the bench, you have
against
to be
Man United.
We
had two seats not filled in. You know that we had 3. Is it 3?
But he's prepared to bring them on. Otherwise, he would have picked different academy players. It was
either having them or having nobody. They're having nobody.
Oh, that means they're good enough to come on and play if needed.
No, they're not. No, it doesn't. That's not
true. You just said earlier he had them on the bench in case we have another Chelsea scenario. So that means they're good enough to come on.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean they're good enough to come on because they didn't come on. We only made 3 subs and not 5. We can make 5 subs. We normally make 5 subs and we only made 3. Why? Because those guys aren't good enough to come off the bench.
Don't have them on the bench then. Don't have them at the club. Don't give them contracts.
You have
don't
to,
give them
in
scholarships.
case the worst happens, there has to be a body. Having 11 players on the field is better than having 10 or 9.
So worse. Okay, fair enough. So worst case scenario, they're good enough.
Yes, worst case scenario.
Right, so they're good enough.
They're not good enough.
You just said worst case scenario, they're good enough.
Okay, listen, you're completely now being disingenuous.
Let's move on, man. Let's move on.
If you're good enough to come on when you're in trouble, you're good enough to come on and play.
Yeah, because a dead body is better than nobody.
No, it's not. It's dead. It's dead.
You're seriously being so pedantic right now. It's silly.
I'm not.
A horrible body on the pitch is better than nobody on the pitch.
No. You just refuse to want to believe that there are players in our academy that are good enough. Harry Kane got
If they were
shut
good
on
enough,
for
they'd
2
play.
years. Will, if it wasn't for Tim Sherwood, the club would have sold Kane. They would have got rid of him because they said he's not good enough.
Again,
If it wasn't for Tim
using
Sherwood,
an antidote.
All I'm going to say is this.
I'm trying to show you
Using
how the
an
players are
anecdote
good.
that is
No, I'm not.
completely above anything else. Yes, you are.
It proves the
No, it
theory
doesn't.
wrong.
It doesn't prove the theory wrong.
No, Kane would have gone on to make it elsewhere. He would have
You
made
don't know
it.
that, Iggy. You have no idea.
Come on,
Sure, I
man.
do.
You cannot say he would have gone on to make it because when he went on loan, he wasn't doing that great.
Yes, he was.
When he was on loan. No, he wasn't. Stop this.
He wasn't hitting the world. He wasn't hitting the world of light.
He wasn't hitting big numbers, man. Stop this.
He wasn't hitting the world of light. But I still think he would have gone on to make it. I still think he would have gone on to make it.
You think.
I think that. I think he would have gone to.
So
if you're class, you're class, man. Doesn't matter if you do it at Tottenham or not.
No, he became class because his development was done correctly in the end at Spurs. The reality is this:
that development, he would have taken his art, his craft elsewhere, and delivered.
No,
and then
because it was our coaches that developed him. Us, Spurs.
Okay, it was all the loans he went on.
If Spurs have sold him at 21 years old,
he didn't play at Tottenham before the season that he came on in the very end of that 2012-2013 season. He never played for Tottenham 4 seasons before that still.
Harry Kane came on bit part and then he got shipped out. He played
he came on at the end of the season under Tim Sherwood and played like what, 1 or 2 games, right? 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that next season under Pochettino's, the 2013-14 season where he scored 21 goals. Okay. Yeah. He scored 3 goals under Sherwood. He only played 3 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Before that, he didn't even touch the ball for Tottenham. He played for Leicester City, Norwich, Millwall, Luton Town. He was scoring 7 goals for Millwall.
Yeah. 7. So according to you, he wasn't good enough then, because otherwise we'd be playing him. He went out on loan because he wasn't good enough, according to you. If he was good enough, he'd play for Spurs.
Or they wanted him to play adult football at the time.
Because he wasn't good enough to play for us, Will. Because this is your logic now.
That's not my
logic.
This is
your logic. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. When did I say that? When did I say Harry Kane?
You said it about our academy players. If they don't play for us, it's because they're not good enough. Harry Kane wasn't good enough then because he had to go play elsewhere.
Okay. Do you know what a false equivalency is?
I don't give a shit what it is because
that's what you're doing right
now. No, it's
was
not.
Was there a point when Harry Kane was the only substitute on the bench and we didn't make a sub?
Was there a point where you said tonight, if you're not good enough, out? Harry Kane out. That's what happened. You can't pick and choose when it suits us to have
What are you talking about?
This logic of Will, you okay.
You are totally twisting everything I said.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
you
are.
believe.
Be genuine. Use points that I actually made.
No, you don't. Use your same logic for Kane like you did with our current academy.
Do you know what same logic means? It means equal to, not unequal.
Yes. No. You said that our academy players, if they don't play for us, it's because they're not good enough. Well, Harry Kane didn't play for us.
Mm-hmm.
So by your logic,
and when
he wasn't
didn't
good
play
enough.
for us, he wasn't good enough at that time. What's your point?
Okay. So my point is, you're saying the same thing about our players now. Kane was good enough. The problem was he wasn't given
Kane
the
wasn't good enough then.
He wasn't given the chance at our club.
Kane was not good enough then. That's why he didn't play for us
Daniel Levy and the director of football, I don't know who it was at the time, they wanted to sell him to Leicester City for 650 million because they felt, £650,000 because they felt he's not good enough.
Okay.
It was Sherwood that fought for him. And it was Sherwood that said, you don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And we've got the same problem now at this club where we don't give the youngsters that same chance Kane got. You will never know if a young player.
Freeze right there.
You will never. No, I'm going to finish what I'm saying. You will never know if a young player is good enough for your team until he's given a proper chance. Only then can you say, do you know what? You're not going to cut it. 5 minutes as a cameo is not a chance. Coming on twice for 10 minutes is not a proper chance. Being given consistent back-to-back games, at least 30, 40 minutes, then you can begin to say, do you know what? We can see something. We don't do that. We just don't do it at Spurs.
Who gave him a proper chance?
I couldn't give a shit who gave him the chance.
Who gave him the proper chance?
What does it matter?
Well, Kane.
Yeah.
What does it matter who gave him the chance? He got the chance.
Or Pochettino. Sherwood, I guess.
Sherwood played him first and Poch gave him
but how many games is a proper chance? Because he only played 5 full 90s under Sherwood.
But that was to the back end of the season.
That's a good
in the
chance.
back end of the season.
Wasn't
And that was because somebody was
injured.
Hang on, even Sherwood, even Pochettino got a little bit lucky with Kane because I think it was like that game away to Aston Villa where he was like, it kind of.
Pochettino's the one who gave him a proper chance. Not Tim Sherwood.
If Sherwood gave him 5 90-minute games, he's giving him a chance for me. If Sherwood gave him 5 90-minute games.
Okay, no, it's not 5 full 90s. It's 5. It's the minutes of the equivalency of 5 full 90s. Right?
Okay, that's not a chance then.
Yeah, that's my point. In a whole entire season, he got enough minutes to fill not 5 full games.
What's the point here now?
499 minutes under Tim Sherwood. That's all he played. 499 minutes under Tim Sherwood.
Whether Poch gave him a chance or Sherwood, what does it matter? He was given that chance. That's my point. He was given that chance.
Listen, with your own admission, you said we were getting ready to sell him. Why?
Because they felt he wasn't good enough.
Because they felt he wasn't good enough. So before that, right? Why wasn't he playing? Why wasn't he being given that chance? Because they felt he wasn't good enough. That's my point. The reason why these guys aren't getting a chance is because the manager feels they're not good enough.
No, it's because we spent a fortune
on... That's my argument.
No, it's because we spent a fortune on Soldado and we spent money on Adebayor, who was on the highest wages at the club.
But you just changed yourself. Why didn't they give Harry Kane a chance? Why did they want to sell him?
I'm answering your question, Will. I'm not changing the argument. I'm answering your question.
You are. Why didn't they want to play him?
I'm trying to answer that
question. Why were they going to sell him?
I'm trying to answer that question, but you stopped me when I said answered. Because at that time, we had 2 players at the club that weren't allowed to be dropped because we had interference from above, which has been happening for years. And that's why they wanted to sell him. So Sherwood's the one that said no.
You literally just changed your answer.
No, I'm not.
You said they wanted to sell him because he wasn't good enough. With your own...
When I say them, Will, I'm talking about Levy and the director of football, not Tim Sherwood and the coaches. Not the football people, the board.
Why would the leadership of the club think he's not good enough if all of the coaches were telling him he is good enough?
Will, have you not seen Spurs for the last 10 years under Levy and Enoch? Have you not seen what goes on at this club?
So you're saying that, Son Heung-min's, everybody thinks Son's good, but because Daniel Levy doesn't like his haircut, he's going to sell him to Leicester.
Will, do you think Levy and Enoch have been running things properly for the last 10 years with our academy and our first team? No,
completely
I'm asking.
Unrelated to the point.
I'm asking that question.
What? No, I don't.
Right. So
completely irrelevant.
No. So that's why they interfered, Will. This is what's been going on in the club.
That connection doesn't follow. That correlation does not equal that causation.
Why not?
Because the two, that doesn't, just because Daniel Levy's an idiot doesn't mean that he then, because he's an idiot, that wanted to sell Harry Kane, even though all of the coaching staff at Tottenham Hotspur wanted to keep him.
Will.
First of all, you don't know all the coaching staff at Tottenham Hotspur wanted to keep him.
I know enough.
The manager before Tim Sherwood didn't rate Kane.
If there's one thing I know, it's the people at Spurs in the academy.
Hold on.
Right?
The manager before Tim Sherwood didn't rate Harry Kane.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't even remember who the manager was before that. I don't even know how old Harry Kane was then.
It's just the previous season, 19 years old.
Okay. Well, Tim Sherwood was the under-21 manager, so he would have known Kane better than anyone. He was the under-21s manager.
Yeah, but Harry Kane didn't play in the under-21s then.
The 3 people that knew Harry Kane better than anyone was Chris Ramsey, Clive Allen, and Tim Sherwood. If you want to know about Harry Kane, you speak to them 3. They're the go-to people. Unfortunately, our club don't listen to what these people say. That's what it's been like for years. That's why McDermott left Spurs. He got sick to death of it. They weren't listening.
Great. That's great.
That explains the Kane thing. And I'm telling you now, Will, right? I'm telling you now, as a club, we are not interested in progressing our young players because you never know.
Why do we spend money on them if we're not interested in it?
Fucking God knows, man. I've got no idea. This is what I'm saying. Shut it down. I said shut down the academy 30 minutes ago. For me, what I see at Spurs is a club. It gives the image it cares about the academy. It tells the fans it wants the manager to come in and progress these kids, but the manager doesn't do it, no matter who we put in place. The academy always ends up never seeing these prospects progress to a high level, and you will never, ever truly know how good a player is unless you give him those chances. And I'm sorry, Spurs do not give those chances.
So why don't we just start the whole U21 academy then instead of our first team? Because we never know.
Will, I just said shut down the academy.
I didn't say shut it down. I said, why don't we just let the U21 team play? Because we never know. Just let the U21 play in the league.
Because we know the experienced players we've got, like Madison Romero, are better than them. Come on, we know the first team players. Most of them are better.
You never know that those young kids could be better unless you give them a chance.
True. Okay, but are we going to take that risk? No, we're not.
No, exactly. That's why they don't play. That's my whole point.
No, but there's opportunities when you can.
No,
because there's opportunities when you can, like when we're 4-0 up against Newcastle.
Yeah, because 20 minutes against Newcastle when we're 4-0 up is going to show you that the next Harry Kane is born.
It's better than 2 fucking minutes at the end.
Not much.
Will.
Kane got to run. Kane got to run because someone got injured. Right?
No, he got to run because Adebayor was a mercenary, and Soldado couldn't score. They couldn't. All right, whatever reason, he got a chance though. They played him.
Right, and once he played, he took it by the reins and scored 3 goals in 3 games straight at the end of that Tim Sherwood season. That's why he got the chance.
We had no Heung-min Son, and we had no Richarlison, and we still didn't want to play Veliz, for example. And he's someone we bought him. What does that tell you? What does that fucking tell you?
Richarlison scored in that game.
No. Will. There was a game where we had no Richie and no Son, and we still didn't want to start Veliz. And he's someone we bought him.
What game did we have no Richie and no Son?
There was one game because Veliz ended up coming on, I think, for a little bit. There was one game we didn't have both of them. I think Richie was injured and Son began to. I think it was the last game of December, first game of January. It was one game.
No, there wasn't. There was no game where both Richie and Son didn't start.
No, I remember because we were all discussing should Veliz start. He's got to start Veliz, but he didn't.
No, it's because Richie was bad. Son might have been missing, but Richie wasn't.
No, Son was missing. Son was missing. But there was a game where we were saying, right, thank God we got Veliz. And then Veliz got injured. It might have been, was it Brighton?
No, there's no game where both Richarlison and Son didn't start.
I'm sure there was one. Well, look, guys, look, we can go back and forth on this. For me, my personal view, and Will, listen, I don't mind if you disagree. This is what debating is about. For me, I don't think Spurs genuinely gives its academy prospects a chance. I don't. I've seen it this year. If Ange isn't going to do it, no one's going to do it, in my view. It's not going to happen. If you guys think they're not good enough, then that's fair enough. We can have, that's
yeah, because I personally don't think Postecoglou's an idiot, and I think Postecoglou wants to win games. And so if Postecoglou knew that these players were better than the players that are on the pitch, he'd put them on the pitch. I don't think Postecoglou's an idiot.
I just don't think the managers are really invested in it either, because they're not going to risk their permanency at the club investing in something that they don't really have to. There's no.
And that's what I mean about the pressure, Iggy. Kind of like the pressure of.
You think yourself, you're not going to. I play this kid. If it doesn't work out, it's on me, isn't it? So, like, why would they need to put themselves under that sort of pressure?
But I do understand Stowe's point. If we're 4-0 up with 20 minutes to go, why can't you give them a run out?
Yeah, there's no excuse for that. I think they can. If there is ever a time to do it, it is that. But
because at that point, you find out something about them in the real world, won't you?
Like, because sometimes if someone is doing really well in the academy or in the youth setup, you reward them, don't you? You give them a taste of what, like, this is what you do. You send a message to the rest of the academy to say, well, this is what happens when you do well in your division. You get the opportunity to play with the first team, even if it is a cameo period, 10 minutes. You give them a taste of Premier League football. Why we don't do it, I genuinely don't know. But what I can say, and what I've seen in the years I've been following Spurs, Winks, Skip, and Kane have been the only 3 in that, however many players, and some good ones. And then you look at it and think, okay, you don't get your opportunity at Tottenham. You leave Tottenham, go elsewhere. How many success stories have we heard from players leaving Tottenham to go and make it somewhere else at high level? Like I said, Marcus Edwards, maybe. But the rest of them are kind of even filtered down the divisions.
Well, the Chelsea kids, the boy that they've signed Chelsea.
Well, we don't know. We wait.
But he's doing well.
We'll await to see. But Chelsea and Man City, man, they go handpick. Chelsea and Man City are known to go and handpick players and then bring them to their own academy.
Exactly.
Like, they pick the best of that region up and down the country. They picked them out. They handpicked them. They come
Foden started from a young age. Sorry, he started from
yeah, okay, but Foden is what I'm saying though. The Chelsea
look at him. He's class.
They go around nicking people's talents. They've been doing that. I'm not saying they don't develop any themselves, but they do go and pick the best of the crop and bring them to their academies. That's a fact, man.
Arsenal don't do that. Newcastle don't do that.
I said Chelsea.
Look at but I'm saying there's other clubs in the Premier League where young kids are coming.
Had a very good academy not long ago with the Rio Ferdinand, Joe Cole, that generation. They had a very good.
Maitland, Miles, Smith Rowe all come through from a young age. Smith Rowe slightly older because I know there's a club from South London, whatever. But Newcastle, they've got a couple of kids that come on. Liverpool, Curtis Jones, with a very young age. It just seems like we're the only club that never gives our kids a run out. Let's see what you've got.
I don't think there's any. I think that listen, I've said it earlier.
I
think there's a level of truth in what you both have said. Yes, there isn't an interest in developing or bringing through. It's not part of our ethos. It really isn't. And I do believe in what Willa said as well. And it said, I don't think there's really been anyone. We haven't shut the door of players that could be a really potential.
90% of our academy players will not make it at Premier League level, right? That's normal. You can say that for most Premier League clubs.
Yeah, but at our club, it's 99% won't make it.
Because the crop that do have something about them that can, we don't play them. We never even give them a little run out, is my argument. But look, let me do the super chats because we've had a couple.
It does say something for them because it also must be quite hurtful for them in a way because they get the opportunity, but then they know we go out and buy an 18-year-old from here and an 18-year-old from there.
JP, the best thing you could do, if you had a son going to Tottenham Academy, the best thing you could do is make sure they go and get that school in there. But in regards to making it into the Tottenham team, forget it, man. Forget it. Iggy. Go and get the school in, get out and go somewhere else.
Iggy. Right, I don't want to mention names on it. Your son, he's in a team with a player, and that player's son, that player's brother is at Spurs, right? He went from us to Spurs at the age of 8. He is doing so freaking well there. They're playing him up 2 ages. He's tearing it up.
Yeah, now, I know what you're talking about.
Right. I spoke to his mum before Christmas and I said, stay there as long as you can. Get as many years on your CV as Spurs. And when you get to 16, go. Yep. Go get a career. Because you know what? I don't trust this club to give it to you. But use them for the education and then go and get a career.
Because if you go, he's had an education at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, they'll know that you're at a level that that you could make it elsewhere.
They're not. Listen, there's many championship clubs, low league, Premier League clubs, teams in Europe that will snap our players at 16 to 18 and then see if they can push them on. Spurs won't do it. I'm actually telling parents who I know, you've got to leave Spurs at some time. Don't wait on this lot. And I'm a Spurs fan. It's terrible that I do that.
Palace, West Ham, Fulham, those are the teams that launched that young players. They're talented. But also there's an ambience about it. There's a fan base that are patient to see a future champion making it into the team. Could you imagine waiting for someone at Spurs, given the patience that we have as well? It just wouldn't happen. That's why it's better.
Kane's the closest thing we've come to it, and we're not going to see that for another 10, 15, 20 years if we're lucky. Yeah. If we're lucky. We won't. Listen, just quickly do super chats. Stay humble. New channel member, big up. Della Spurs. The club has to take the risk, play the youth they believe in. Premier League, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, all do it no matter what position the club is in. In Liga, some club academies are the starting 11. I think those La Liga clubs probably don't have a lot of money, so they're forced to do it that way. Della Spurs, to be honest with you. He comes in with another super chat. Big up to you, Della Spurs. It's such a good name, isn't it? Della Spurs. That's wicked. Mm-hmm. The point of a club academy is not to produce 1 or 2 Premier League players every 2 or 3 years. It's to allow the top squad manager to add numerous raw talent to squad to change its dynamic. And then we've also got a super chat from Stay Humble who says, I think the last kid we brought through was Tanganga. Right. Yeah. And
Tanganga, another one. He's come back from loan and he's gone back out to Millwall.
Sell him. He's not going to play for us again. Just
you know what I mean? This is what I'm trying to say. And this guy was supposed to be...
These are the best of the best. That's my point.
but let's look at what happened. Yeah, Tanganga makes his debut for Spurs against Liverpool and has a phenomenal game. Everyone was raving about him. Next game he's dropped. Next game he's dropped. This is what I mean about development. We're terrible at it.
He went for a play phase. He played right back. He played right back, left back. Yeah. Played everywhere. Then we went for a mess of managers.
We are the worst club at transitioning a young player to adult football. We are awful at it. I've said this so many times. Look, I want to talk about another few players because we haven't even freaking been through them. But Tottenham rejected a bid from Al Nazir for Emerson Royal. And Sky Sports officially announced that the Saudi Arabian club, Al Nasir, they do want to sign Tottenham defender Emerson Royal. There's reports of an initial approach being rejected. The Brazilian played an important role for Ange at centre-back when Romero suspended and Van de Ven was out too. The 25-year-old is also back up to the right back, Pedro Porro. Now, I put a poll out, which caused nothing but a shitstorm. All I did was ask, would you keep him? Would you sell him? Well, you're not sure. All hell broke loose. You're negative. I'm asking you a question. What you think, you dumbasses? If you can't handle a question, just like wear shades with dark covers so you can't see. Right? What do you guys think, Lee? Let me come to you because I know I'm trying to keep you awake. So I know you nearly fell asleep there.
Shattered.
No, you only went on for an hour of this debate, man. Kill us.
Sorry, people. Sorry. But listen, when Will and I get into a debate, man, everyone just lock off and come back an hour later.
Thanks for the day. You should have told me before.
I didn't know it was going to happen. It just comes out of nowhere.
We know for next week, Higgs.
We had the exact same debate last week, so I don't know why you didn't know it was going to happen.
Get to the question.
Honestly, we're not going to go over it. This stream is only going to last 90 minutes maximum. You know, we're going to do an hour and a half show.
Listen, guys,
there's been no football this weekend. We're not going to talk. There's not really much to talk about. 3 hours later.
Look, 25 more minutes and we're done, right? That's it. Lee, with Emerson Royal, should we cash in while someone actually wants to pay good money for him, use that money and reinvest, or has he proven himself that he deserves to stay at the club and he's actually now a squad player going forward? And I just want to bring this up as well because someone did reply to me, not that I asked him to, and he said, interesting takes today on how bad Royal is. Just to clarify, he's been excellent for us this season, playing in a centre-back position that he doesn't normally play. He's one of the best defenders at the club. He does his job. Not sure what some of you actually want. So that's a fan who desperately wants him to stay because he's one of the best defenders at the club. Lee, what's your take on it?
Listen, I'm not going to praise him for being one of the best defenders at the club. He came in and did a job when we needed him to do a job. He did it okay and he did it well. But it's never going to be where he's cemented in that position, right? I think the issue we've got here is we from a Van de Ven stroke Romero backup, we've now got one who we are praising as being good. We've bought him; he's young, in Dragusin, and we've still got Ben Davis. So the question is, does he now become the backup for Porro, which he should be anyway, because that's his natural position? What happens between now and the end of the season if Porro gets injured? Because we've got no natural right back, because obviously now Matey's gone to Genoa as part of that deal. We don't have anyone, and I've seen things thrown out there today, like, stick Romero at right back and then put Dragusin in centre back, etc., etc. Okay, but now you're taking a different type of player than Porro and Romero and Emerson, and sticking him there for the sake of sticking him there. I think I'd rather. Do you know what? He's probably going to be sold in the summer anyway. I don't think he can do anything between now and then to make his value drop dramatically. I think we need to keep him as a backup for Porro in case he gets injured.
But Lee, what if someone says, look, there's 30 million, we'll take him. Could we not take that 30 million, add another 10 million on top, spend 40 million pound on a really good replacement or a versatile player?
Listen, yeah, maybe. But you tell me where we're going to get someone within 8 days of the window that's going to want to leave their club, or we're going to have or that's going to be enough to get them in. I'm not sure. I think it's too much of a risk right now. But maybe I'm wrong. Listen, I'm not the one.
I would say if we could get someone in, say, look, we speak to the Saudi Arabian club, say, look, let's make this still happen on the promise that the player would accept to leave, and also say, look, before we let him go, we'll bring someone in. We'll bring someone in, even on loan, as cover for Porro. We'll let him go. Do I think he deserves to be sold on the basis of what we have seen this season? No, probably not. I think he stepped up in a time where we needed him. We needed him to step up, and he did, man. You have to give him that. You have to give him his props. However, do I see him in the way Ange Postecoglou wants to play in defence and how he wants us to play from the back? No, man. He's not part of the way Ange wants to play moving forward. So for me, if it's a deal that works out best for everyone and Emerson's up for leaving and we can sell him, I think we should sell him. But we have to hold and say, look, give us the opportunity to bring someone else in before we let him go. That's how clubs work. But yeah, listen, this is the best I've seen of Emerson is this season, but I don't think he's the answer for. Yeah, he did step up. There's no denying that. I think we was in the mud, man. We was proper in the mud, and then Davis and Emerson both did well in our two main centre backs' absence. I think they held the fort well. However, moving forward,
you say that, but we lost to Villa, West Ham, and Brighton, and they were at centre back.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault. We lost.
How have they stepped up if we lost those games?
Emerson is responsible for a few of those.
No, I'm just saying, if he stepped up, how did we lose those 3 games?
I think he did well in those games, man. He's not the sole reason why we lost those games. We were shit. We were shit, man. We have to say it.
Was he not part of that shit?
1/11th. He's not the sole reason why we lost that game.
Okay, he's one part of the overall turd. He's the curvy bit at the end that comes out your ass
natural. First of all, he played those games as a centre back. He's a centre back. So why we okay? Would you want to talk to me why in a situation where centre back is injured or suspended and we haven't got a backup centre back? Why is that?
We did have backup centre back. We signed Ashley Phillips.
Is that Emerson though? Huh?
You had a centre back.
Oh, Eric Dyer.
No, Ashley Phillips. We signed
was injured during that period.
Donnelly,
Dorrington in the squad.
Dorrington. Okay, Dorrington.
We're really scraping a barrel. The question was, would you sell Emerson? I would sell Emerson. I would sell Emerson. No, we're not going to go into that. The question was, would I sell Emerson? Take the money. Take the money. Agree the deal with the Saudi Arabians. If Emerson gives the go ahead, he's happy to move. I'll say hold it for 8 days. On the 7th day, if we can find somebody to replace him as cover for Porro, we'll let him go. That's it. That's how I will do it. That's me. Over to you.
Would you? Let's say we can't bring in cover for Emerson, and we'll be forced to use a young player in the academy, for example. Would you not take the money now while someone's actually offering the money? And the reason I say this is, there's a while ago, someone offered us 50 million for Eric Dyer, and we said no. We ended up letting him go for 4 million. Sometimes, just maybe, if you know a player's not part of the long-term plan, take the money when someone offers it. What would you say to that, Iggy, then?
Well, why did we let Spence go? We could have kept him instead of letting him go to Genoa. Why we could let him go on loan? Recall him back. Say,
no. I'm asking. I'm not talking about who we've let go. I'm saying.
I'm saying that we had the cover in house.
He was part of the Dragusin deal, right, Iggy?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if the idea was to sell on, is to get rid of Emerson, if that was the idea the whole way through, why didn't we get someone else in? Why did we let them?
Yeah, but that probably wasn't the idea. However, now this club's come in and gone.
But there's a thing. So my position is he's a bum. Sell him. We shouldn't have signed him in the first place. 2,
that's that. Conversation's over.
2, we have cover for Pedro Porro. We have cover for Pedro Porro and Dragusin. I don't know if you guys watched him play right back, but he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, better than Emerson Royal is.
I don't disagree, but the problem is that we've already seen it this season where it doesn't just happen once, it happens twice or 3 times, and then we end up with Dragusin covering for Porro, and then we get another injury, and now we haven't got any cover there because the other person that's covering there was covering there. Yeah.
I'd rather Davies cover than Emerson.
I agree. That's what I said.
All right, okay, guys, 1 second. Whether we think Emerson is good, a bum, whatever, do we all agree that Emerson Royal is not going to be part of the overall bigger plan that Ange is building.
Yes,
Get rid of
absolutely.
him now while we get cash. He's a bum.
Okay,
Shouldn't have signed him in the first place.
All right, so listen, Will, I agree with you. We shouldn't have signed him in the first place. So my question is this: if we know we're going to get rid of Emerson at some point, why not do it now when someone's prepared to give us actual real money for him?
Do you think then in the summer his value would be less than 30 million? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think that's about average for a right back, isn't it, nowadays?
Yeah, but he's not
25.
It would be nice.
Who's literally going to want him?
He's not average.
That's my concern, JP. That no one's going to make the offer.
So if that's the case, then, and we truly think that's the case, then I'll change my opinion. Yeah, flog him now. If that's what you
it would
think
actually be nice to actually sell a player.
Lee, I'm worried that no one will come in with an offer like this. That's my concern.
Exactly.
Then if that's bite their hand off, then
look at Brian Hill. How much are we selling him for?
Well, that's dropped down now, isn't it? To like 5 million or 4 million or something.
Yeah, it's like 10, and we paid
what an absolute waste of money that was.
Lamela.
Plus Lamela.
Listen, if we can get Timo Werner on a free loan deal, I'm sure our recruitment team for 6 months can find the right.
That's 100% right, still, and that's what I was going to say.
We go get Turpie on a loan or something.
We've got a whole big scouting network, apparently, right?
You got Matty Cash.
We're using data analytics now. Let's go and find a youngster that will come. You can get someone on loan.
Yeah, listen. At the end of the day, in the grand scheme of things, I would absolutely sell. I would absolutely sell. You won't get another better chance to sell if a player's happy to move on, and we can strike a deal. Do it. I would do it.
20 million quid. Take the money, man. Run.
I don't know where Spurs are at. I don't know who's blocking that move. Is it the player? Is it the club? Or is it the manager? I don't know.
We rejected the earliest offer, but the new rumors is that they're going to re-offer, and I'm sure they'll take it.
That's Daniel's plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think if we get £30 million or more, just like I said in the summer, we were going to sell Kane because we're not going to let him walk off the balance sheet for free. I reckon Levy steps in, tells the recruitment team, I've got this. We are taking that 30 mil.
Go and find someone. Go and find someone tomorrow.
Yeah. Go get a loan deal or whatever, and just get some kind of backup. I think. I know it's been talked about a lot, but we haven't spoken about it. Nusa. I know we did it earlier. Sorry.
You spoke about it earlier.
Sorry. Quick question for you guys. I know this didn't happen under Ange, so we can't blame this on Ange. This isn't anything to do with him. But with Timo Werner, Brian Hill, Solomon, Brennan Johnson, the wingers we've got at this club at the moment, if you could have kept this guy, would you have kept him?
Yes. I said at the time
would you have kept Stevie B when you look at what we've got now, guys?
Absolutely.
I think he would have been happy to stay with Ange Postecoglou, and the style he plays, I think, suits his characteristics really well. But at the end of the day, man, when you look back at it, it was he that asked to leave when the opportunity to go to Ajax presented itself. So
we weren't playing.
He wasn't playing enough.
He was a bit part player.
Yeah, at that time.
But Iggy, you as a fan, right now, when you look at how it is, would you?
Given what we got at the moment, of course, he'd be playing every week right now. He would. In this team, he would be playing every week, left or right.
Or down the middle.
Or down the middle. Yeah, he was a good player. He wasn't a bad player. His lack of opportunities was what led him to leave. But in this team, he'll be flying. He'll be flying right now. But
I mean, at the time when he was here, we was up against. You know, we're talking about Son's position really, because predominantly he played on the left, didn't he, for us? And Harry Kane. I mean, you can see why he would want to go. You're not getting ahead of them two in the form that they were in. So, but yeah, in this team, I think he gets in above Johnson. I'm still on the fence about Werner. I think he's going to be a baller.
Thing is, like even the players that we've got, Johnson
don't do it to me, Lee. Don't do it to me.
Timo Werner in the end ended up taking Ivan Perisic's place, who left to go and join Ajax Split. So he's, numerically speaking, he's only replaced a player that we wasn't playing anyway. I think we need someone else because there's still a space. if that makes sense. So for me, that we should be able to move and get someone else in that attacking lineup, in my opinion, winger wise.
And make Timo the backup.
Yeah.
I ran
Solomon's coming back, but is he the answer?
I ran a poll on YouTube and I said, with our style of play under Ange, we've got Gill, Werner, Solomon, Kulu, Johnson as the wingers. Would Bergwijn have suited us better compared to what we've currently got? Is he better? And we had almost 1,000 votes, which is a good vote for us. 32% said he's the same as what we've got. 16% said he's worse. 52% said he's better than what we've got. So I think
he is better than what we've got.
The majority would have probably kept him if we had that choice. And we got a similar result on Twitter. I did the same one, but we only got like 75 votes. But it was a similar outcome. So, listen, guys, before we wrap it up, I just want to do something a little bit fun and not so serious. And that is, this is a good one. I think you're going to like this, people. And everyone at home, I think you're all going to like this. You can only pick one. You can't say, oh, I like this one, I like that one. If you had to pick one club badge from our history, which one are you picking, people? So you've got 1921 all the way up to now. If you could pick one range of years, what would you pick? In the comments, put the one that you like. Panel, I'll keep it up so you guys can have a look and then
why does the 51 to 67 one look like some kind of burlesque cockerel with high heels on?
That does look a little bit
strange. And the 67 to 71 looks like a deformed dinosaur. And the 72 81 looks like it's some kind of contest winner from Blue Peter.
Do you know what? The more I look at that 51, that is a little bit that's a little bit OnlyFans, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Porn,
yeah,
a little bit porn.
A bit chicken.
Yeah. If you could pick one, guys, which one stands out for you guys? Which one?
Do you know what? I'm gonna say for simplicity and style, I'm just gonna stick with the one that we've got now. I just like the blue and the white. Simple.
83, 84. That was my time.
83, 84, JP. That is okay. Yeah.
That's like a real emblem.
Mate, what is the difference between the 06 13 and 13 now?
I think the bird's a little bit slimmer and the ball's smaller.
The bird's got almost like a drop shadow on around it.
The bird's had a couple of slim fast.
They've trimmed the cock.
They've trimmed the cock. Yeah, the less trophies we win, the smaller the bird.
Do you know what? I don't actually remember.
I don't
actually remember the 95, 97. I don't remember it.
You don't remember it?
I don't remember it on a shirt.
I've got it on my purple shirt, Iggy. That purple and black.
Yeah, I just looking at it as it is. I don't ever remember it. For me, one.
Iggy. That was on the pony kits.
Yeah, it was a big badge. It was like massive.
It's just because I think we were so shit. I probably
all I know is you all got some weird looking roosters over there in England because none of those look like an actual rooster.
Well, it's a Hotspur. All right, it's a Hotspur.
It's a Hotspur.
Whatever Hotspur is, it's a Hotspur.
For me, just
the
purely
the fighting part on the back.
The purely on memory, man. I'm going with 89, 95, just because it's just holds it. It was for me. It's when I became a fan, and
that would be my second one, Iggy.
That's my badge right there, man. Purely on memory. But if I had to pick one,
wait, Iggy, hold on. Right,
style. On memory, I'll go with 89.
Iggy, hold on. Right. So 89, 95 is the same as 99, 2006, except the bird is yellow as opposed to white. So would you go with the bird yellow or white? So 99, which one would you go
for? Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. No, I'll probably still stick with the yellow in it, man. I like the yellow in it. But I agree with Lee. I think the current one is probably the best of the lot. I really do. I'm not a fan of that basketball looking. I know it's a retro football, but I just if we can do something with the ball itself, I think that's the best one of the lot. I do miss the Orde Es Face writing on it, But
Will, as an American fan that's used to Roosters, not Hotspurs, which one would you pick?
Well, Hotspur's not even what the birds call. Hotspur has completely different meaning. So
it's a cockerel. I know it's a cockerel.
Yeah.
Cockerel,
rooster, same difference. The if I were to pick one or the other, I would go 72 to 81 or the now one. I prefer the now one as far as like from a graphic design standpoint, but that's boring. I also like this 97 99 one. And then the 7281. I think 7281 is simple. You know?
My one. Hey, JP, what about you? Which one did you go for?
83, 84. I said.
For me, I agree with Iggy, but I go with the cockerel in all white. So 99 to 2006. I think that's the one I'd go for.
I think
but in the chat, everyone's got a different year. We've got 95, 81, 83.
Yeah, what did everyone go for?
They're all different. Everyone's got different. 89 to 95, 89 seems to be quite a popular one. So the one you picked seems to be one that's pretty popular.
It's the Gascoigne Lineker years, man.
I do agree with JJ though. I do agree with JJ about the ball because it looks like a basketball.
Yeah, but it's actually the retro.
That's coming next
But
year.
even retro footballs didn't look like that.
No, but
I think the ideology behind it. I think the idea behind it was that the execution is probably not the best.
Andrew,
I agree.
Retro footballs look more like volleyballs than basketballs, to be honest with you.
Andrew Fisher says the OnlyFans bird worked for trophy, so maybe we should bring back the OnlyFans burlesque. Listen, guys.
You know what I didn't see? We had a shield recently, like one of our recent kits. That's not on there for some reason.
It was in the between 2016.
No, the more recent times we had a shield. We brought it back. My son had it in the navy blue kit that you have still. The navy blue shirt that you have, AIA, the navy blue.
Yeah, it was.
Where's that shield? That shield is not.
It's the 95, 97 one, Iggy.
No. There was it was like Dele Alli wore it. It was the I want to say 16, 17 or 17, 18 kit had a shield around. Man. I've got the kit.
You've got that shirt. You've got it.
Yeah. Can someone Google? Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not on there.
It's not on there. That was a nice one. That was a nice one. And let me see if I could bring it up. If I could bring it up, man, or if you guys could bring it on the screen.
Yeah, I can grab
just
it.
Dele Alli wearing it or something.
17, 18.
Whilst Will brings it up, we just got a quick super chat here. Big up to Faz. He says, would the panel rate Richie if he scores 15 plus goals this season? It's a bit... Oh.
I would like it, but I wouldn't rate him.
Listen, if he can get that number... If you can get that number, that would be awesome. Della, this is the one I was talking about. I really like this one.
Do you know what? That's the first year we had Nike. It's the only year Nike smashed all the kits.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. I mean, that's banging. But on the navy shirt,
is that not on there?
It pops.
No, it's not on there. It's not on there. I was surprised.
It is, but it's just got a shield around it.
They dropped the Tottenham Hotspur aspect off of it for a while too, and then it was just a shield.
I don't think a club should have the name of the club on the badge. I think the badge is like like Mercedes. The badge, it doesn't say Mercedes on it. I think a good logo.
You need to know it's Mercedes, do you?
Yeah,
because you know it by the badge.
The cockerel does the talking, right?
The cock does the talk.
The cock does the talk. Guys, would you rate Richie if he scores over 15 goals this season?
Are they all tap-ins or?
Across the line.
I think it's just the number of goals. I think it's just the number of goals.
15, Lee.
I mean, it'll be his best season for us so
for
far.
Anyone.
But
for anyone,
that means that he's got to score what at least.
That's nice.
His average has got to be like 0.8 per match. Was it 18 matches left? He's got to score in like every single thing. And with Sonny back, do you really think he's going to start ahead of Son? So I don't think
we might score in a couple of cup games,
Maybe.
I think he needs to take. I think Richie needs to make the most of his time while Son is away to try and score as many goals as he can. I think if he can get anywhere near double figures, 15 goals would be amazing. But I think 12, anywhere between 12 and 15. I think, that you know what, it's some. I think 12 to 15 should be is my expectation from him.
12 to 15. Yeah, listen. I personally would never like him
above. Respect.
Because I like players like Benton, players like
third
Romero.
kit was pretty sick too.
I like. I've got that one as well. I like technical players. Players on the ball. You just think, oh, yeah, so tidy. When I see a player that's just basically a set piece merchant, it just doesn't excite me. But if he gets 15 plus goals, listen, even I will praise it, man, because that's
respect, man.
That's a good return. I can't.
You have to say a bit of love to Donna Cullens in the house.
Big up member for 5 months, Donna Cullen. How you doing, honey?
Honey.
We're on honey basis now, yeah.
Yeah, we're first name basis. She calls me Stella, I call her Donna, you know.
Honey Cullen.
The only Donna I like is a kebab.
People, thank you for tuning in tonight. Big thank you to Dietrich Kane for the super chat. Stay humble channel member. Della Spurs for 2 super chats. Thank you so much. Stay humble with the super chat. Thank you. And Faz as well. And Donna Cullen channel for 5 members. 5 months of being a member. We are live this week. Mari's got a show. We've got the watch along on Friday, then some post-match analysis and some live content from the stadium for the FA Cup. I've got a show debating Harry Scarf on Saturday. Myself, Harry, a Levy debate, and then we've got some other shows lined up and whatnot. So check it all out. Like, subscribe, follow. Last words before we go. Iggy.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Big game Friday. We're gonna do it. Get behind Tottenham. Whoever's playing, even if it's Timo, we need that win. Come on, you Spurs.
Emerson's a bum, and so are our academy players.
Controversial thing to end on. Nusa turns out to be a baller and we sign him. We go for a striker in the summer and we sign one. As with Harry Kane, is it time to start thinking about life without Son?
Oh, you didn't go there. No. We're doing this next show because there's two. You and Will.
Something to think about.
I'm out of this one. I'm going to end it by saying, come on, you Spurs. We won the FFP Cup.
We need to
Show
think
me the
about
money. We've lifted it up with the FFP teams. Big up Tottenham.
FFPFC.
But why is that a controversial thing? Of course we need to think about it. He's gonna age out at some point.
Because there are certain players that you can't deal with leaving the club. Kane was one of them, and I think Son's the other one. Anyone else?
We dealt with Kane leaving just.
We nearly ended the show.
We almost got there. Almost got there.
I'm going to press that
next
in
week,
the stream. Where's that
Lee
in the stream?
and Will are going to discuss, is it time to think about life after Son? All right. So, peace. See you in the week.
Laters.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.